Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome to the stream tonight. In the house, right at the start, we have 3Dub here. He wasn't here last week, but he's here this week.
Hello.
So welcome, 3Dub. Oh, the voice effects. There we go. Uh, we got a few interesting topics to talk about tonight. It wasn't a ton of news. We got a Peacemaker teaser trailer, I think, came out. We'll be looking at that one. Trying to think. I know all the topics we have in here, but there's a few things I didn't list in the title that I wanted to look at. I think there was supposed to be something else that came out today, but now it's coming out tomorrow. I don't remember what it was. Is there a trailer or something big coming out tomorrow?
I can't remember.
I
did see a new poster for Peacemaker too.
Well, there's actually a teaser, I think. I have it bookmarked, so we're going to look at that. I haven't seen it yet, so we'll watch that. We're going to talk a little bit about some of the stuff from Thunderbolts that didn't go into the movie. The full trailer. Okay, that's what it is. Cool. What's up, Anthony? Hey, Keyblade. What's going on? I'll tell you in a second. Be positive. Zen, good to see you. Let's see what else. Just a few random things. We'll just kind of play it by ear. Tonight's kind of a random stream. I'm a little bit tired because I had to be up super early today. So let me tell you, I had one of the worst experiences with the plumbers today. One of the worst ones. And the reason why is I think I was ripped off, or they were trying to rip me off. Because I was getting a faucet installed into the bathroom that's connected to the bedroom. Mm-hmm. And I looked it up online, and it was like the average cost is like $150 to $450. Like less than $500. I purchased the faucet already, so I didn't have to buy that. When I called them, they were like, "Oh, it's $95 for us to come out to your house, and then they'll evaluate it and see how much it'll be after they get there." And I was trying to get a price out of her on the phone, and she wouldn't tell me what the price was, because she's like, "We have to come out, we have to evaluate it." And I'm like, "Okay, that makes a little bit of sense to me." But after looking up the prices, I kind of knew how much it was going to cost me. So I was like, all right, I'll just use, I've got some money saved up. I'll use it because I have to get this faucet fixed. It's leaking like crazy. It won't stop. The guy came in. He looked at it. He looked at the faucet that we got. And he's like, oh, this might not work, but we'll see. He said, I have an adapter, so we can use that if we have to. He goes, I'm going to go outside. I'm going to sit in the car, and I will come back with some quotes for how much it's going to cost me. And I was shocked at how much money he tried to charge me to install a faucet on my sink. Now, the thing is, I could probably figure it out myself. Mm-hmm. You can go to YouTube and watch videos that tell you how to do everything.
Yep.
But I just didn't want to. I was like, I'm going to try and, give these guys some business, and I'll be a little bit lazy and, that kind of thing. He comes back in and he says, with the adapter that you have, it's going to cost you like $700 to put the faucet in.
That's BS.
$700. I was like, what? I was shocked. And then he said, if you don't want to use the faucet that you already purchased, we can use one that I have, because they have some in their truck. He's like, but the ones that we have are more high capacity. $1,000.
Wow.
$1,000 to install one of their faucets into our bathroom. And I said, okay, how much would it cost for you to repair the existing faucet that we have?
$20.
Just to fix it, right? Just because he said it's cheaper to just repair the one that we have, because then he doesn't have to take it all the way out. And I said, okay, how much that's going to be, right? Over $500 to repair the one we already have.
No.
Keep in mind, the national average is under $500, and the average in my area is under $300. So I'm like, what in the hell is going on? Why is it so much?
What company is it?
Well, it's a company called Atomic, right? I went on Google.
Atomic prices.
Right. I went on Google and I'm like, I need to see if other people are experiencing the same bullshit that I'm experiencing, because I feel like I'm being gaslit. So I go on and I My Thor fell over. Here we go. So I go on and I'm like looking it up, and it ends up that they overcharge for everything.
Mm-hmm.
There's somebody that got a hot water heater installed into their house. Cost them $3,700, $3,700 to get it installed. The guy went online and found out that he, the individual person, could buy the water heater for like, I think he said between $600 and $900. They charged him $2,100 for the water heater, just for the water heater alone.
Wow.
So they charged him over double for the water heater. He's like, and the thing is, they probably get the water heater at a discount because they're a company. So they probably pay less for it than he does because they buy them in bulk. And so I was so upset. And the thing was, I got up super early because it's one of those things where it's like, oh, we'll just call you when we're coming over. Because, they don't want to be on a timetable. They don't want to they don't want to have to go, oh, we're supposed to be there at 3. So he says, we'll call you after 12. So I work till 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. And I usually don't get up until like 1:30 in the afternoon, right after lunch. So getting up before 12, like getting up at like 11:30 after working till 4 in the morning is not easy for me. So the fact is I adjusted my schedule. And then to top it all off, and we're going to move on after this because I just need to get this out there. To top it all off, I still had to pay him $100 just for coming to look at the faucet because that's their fee. That's their show up fee is $100. So yeah. I have a feeling, this is my feeling about this, is they charge a lot more for their service because they're going to get that $100 for showing up as much as they can. So if they don't tell me that they're going to be here at 3, they can show up at any time, which means if they get done scamming a bunch of people before they get to me, they might have made $1,000 off of all their stops before they even get to my house. So if they upcharge you, they win no matter what. They're getting through people very quickly. So they're getting that $100 every time they go to somebody's house. And then they can upcharge you. And if you take the bait and pay them for the upcharge, they're getting that as well. So it's a no-lose situation for them.
Yeah. Like they could be like 10 stops. You're on the 10th stop and they just made $1,000.
Yeah. Yeah. So I've looked around. I'm going to try and find some other places, but I am going to tell them when I talk to them on the phone, no, tell me how much it's going, give me a range of how much it's going to cost me to get this done. I don't want you to show up and then be like, oh, it's $1,000. Like, tell me on the phone, what am I looking at? Because I'm not going to do this again. All right, so let's do this here. Be Positive said, why did Turf Nation leave YouTube? Did he leave YouTube altogether? Hold on for a second. I know that he's taking a step back from YouTube, but did he get rid of his channel?
Who's Turf Nation?
One of the guys that is on another podcast that I'm on, or he used to be. No, he didn't leave YouTube. So Turf Nation decided that he was not going to continue to make YouTube videos because he was burned out. Mm-hmm. That's pretty much it. Oh, Jake has arrived. Good to see you, Jake.
Thanks for having me.
But YouTube burnout is real, you guys. If you are a YouTuber, and I know people are like, it's such an easy job. It's so easy. You just sit at your desk all day. It's like 3Dub edits, so it's a whole different thing for him. But it's not a tough job in the sense of like physically tough, but it is mentally tough. It is really hard when you're doing the same thing over and over and over again every single day, and that's pretty much what YouTube is when you're a YouTuber.
Driving nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like recording videos. Like if you guys will notice on my channel, sometimes I'll go through a period where I make like 3 or 4 videos that I record. Sometimes I just live stream. I hate talking to myself. I hate sitting in front of a camera and talking to myself. And that's kind of why I don't make a lot of recorded videos, because of that reason.
And I also hit that like burnout, like feeling that I'm like, what's the point? Basically, I'm like going down a spiral of like.
Well, also if you're not seeing any sort of what's the word I'm looking for? You're not that's traction. One of it. But I'm thinking more of just the overall vibe. Like you're not seeing a flourishing of your channel, of your content.
Yeah.
Like it's just like people aren't chatting in your videos. You're not getting any likes or thumbs up. You're not seeing a lot of views or whatever. Even though it's like you're doing this because you love it, if you're doing it and you're not seeing those kinds of results, it's like I could be doing something else. You know what I mean? Like I could be hanging out with my friends. I could be going out and being social. I could be gooning. Like you could be doing anything else you want to do other than like, you know, making videos that nobody's clicking on. But YouTube is a crapshoot. It's a very luck-based system. They say you can game the algorithm, and there is some truth to that, but it really is about luck. It's about someone catching your video, sharing it, and all of a sudden blowing up in the algorithm. So,
But it's not 2012 anymore.
right.
Yeah.
That's true.
For me, the height was 2012 to like 2019, and then it just died.
But let me tell you why, though. There's a reason why a lot of our channels blew up in that era and then stopped. YouTube used to have a TV sort of algorithm for like people that review shows and react to shows. And they were tired of people uploading full episodes to YouTube. So instead of fighting back against that, they just got rid of that pipeline altogether. So our channels had nowhere to go after that. Like there was no algorithm for us. And so a lot of the channels died out. I know reaction channels got hit super hard after that. I know like Blind Wave and some of the bigger ones, they still kind of did really well, but outside of that, it was really tough if you're a reaction channel. If you're a review channel, RIP. Our channels all died after that. It was over. So anyway, Naruto here with the $2 super chat. Thank you so much, Naruto, for contributing. And a team member. I appreciate it. I just finished watching G20. That is an awful. I wanted it to be so good. There's so many things, so many actors in that movie that I love. Obviously, Viola. We have Homelander, Anthony Starr in there. It's just so many great actors. But everything else outside of that was bad.
I was prepping to see it, and I kept hearing one bad thing after the next, and I just still haven't seen it yet.
It's okay. So I don't think it matters if I spoil anything. I don't think anybody gives a shit about that movie.
No.
So the movie is about Madam President. She's going to G20. She was a hero in the military, and she still sort of keeps up with that training while she's president. So you see her like working out in her backyard and fighting, like, you know, whatever martial arts she was doing. I don't remember what it was, but she's practicing and everything. So she's still sort of like able to do all the stuff that she does. But she's got a daughter and a son. She gets along with the son. She doesn't get along with the daughter, but the daughter is super smart. And so that's kind of the premise, is that they're always fighting. Her and her daughter are always fighting with each other. So they go to G20. She takes kids with them. Anthony Starr is part of some terrorist organization that comes in and kidnaps all the world leaders, and originally says that he's doing it because he wants to free the world of banking. He wants everything to be crypto. So he's like, oh, I want to get people to empty out their checking accounts, their banking accounts, and their stocks, and invest it all into crypto. And if you don't do it, I'm going to unalive all of these world leaders or whatever. So that's what he says originally. But then it spirals into being personal. So it ends up that he was actually just mad because some country had weapons that were made for the United States that ended up killing someone in his family. And so he's trying to get revenge on the president of the United States because of this, which is a completely different thing than what he said in like the first act of the movie. And then the movie ends like 3 times. This is one of the things that really annoys me, is when a movie feels like you got to the end of the film and then it just continues and then it happens again. And so this happens with G20. It's just not a good movie. And cinematography is bad. Soundtrack is good. I guess that's a positive. But cinematography is bad. As much as I love the Arrowverse and CW shows, the main writer was a Supergirl writer, like somebody that wrote for Supergirl. So, yeah, it's...
That tells me a lot.
Yeah. So it's just not great. It's not great. I wanted it to be good. It just wasn't. Jose is a re-signed up as a member. I guess that's what that is. Thank you, Jose, for the continued support. You're amazing. Cameron here. What is going on with my mouse? Okay, here we go. $2 super chat. Are you keeping up with the Diddy trial? Actually, I haven't. I haven't really seen anything on it. I don't. So I know there's a big interest online with celebrity court stuff. Is it weird that I don't really keep up with it? I just don't care enough about celebrities.
I don't care. At the distribution center that I work at, back when the Depp Heard trial was on, it was on the news every fucking morning. It's like, Is there nothing more important or interesting that's going to be on the news right now? Is this just
Yeah.
going to take up our screens every damn morning?
Yeah.
Apparently it was.
It was. And like, I mean, the Johnny Depp stuff was all over the place. Ezra Miller stuff was all over the place. It's just like, I got so tired of hearing about this stuff. Look, I like the escapism that movies and TV shows give me. So I don't, and this is why it kind of baffles me that there's so many channels on YouTube that are wrapped up in the personal lives of celebrities and stuff like that. I understand that there's an interest in it because it comes from like the idea of like wanting to being very nosy. We live in a reality TV kind of environment. But for me, I don't care too much about that stuff until it becomes something that's super obvious to me and I can't get away from it. And a lot of channels here on YouTube they thrive on that stuff.
They feed on it.
Yeah. And I can't do it. I don't mind laughing about it, but there's no joke. I've seen channels where the entire channel is like video after video after video after video of like constant updates on court trials and things like that. It's not my bag. I can't do it.
They get content, I guess.
They do, more power to them. It's just not something that I'm interested in doing. Mario here says G20 was really dumb. Any other movies you would consider bad that have come out so far this year? I mean, there's other movies. So G20 is a poorly made film. That's the problem. It's like it was made for Prime. I don't think it got a theatrical release. I think it was just on Prime. It's a TV movie. Like it's one of those movies you would expect to see on any like a Fox movie or something on TV. It's not great. I would say G20 would be acceptable like 4 years ago when like streaming movies were brand new, but we're getting like really good streaming movies now. So it's like, it just isn't acceptable. I don't know if we're going to see anything as bad as G20 this year, but if we do, it'll probably be on a streaming service, I would imagine.
Because you have those other direct-to-streaming movies like we had Wolves last year with Brad Pitt and George Clooney, which that's like the mother of all missed opportunities because that could have been really interesting, and those two are compelling in the leads, but man, that film struggled to capture my attention.
This is funny. I didn't even think about this. Chainsaw's famous because of the Johnny Depp trials. I remember that. I do remember that.
Yeah,
but the thing is, that's not his entire channel though, so it's weird that he kind of got looped into that.
Yeah.
So.
And like you would have think that they would, send some alert saying like, "Hey, your footage is in this."
Kenny here, because I'm restarting my own YouTube channel. I'm choosing to do so. I've thought about it for 10. Well, go for it, Kenny. Like if you enjoy doing it, as long as you're not looking for immediate like views and stuff, it's always fun to start up a channel and give it a shot.
And don't rebrand something just because you feel like you have to either.
Yeah.
Speaking of personal experience on that one, because I rebranded into what I am now, and I thought long and hard on it.
Oh yeah, Popcorn Planet. You're talking about what's his name? Oh God, I got into a fight with him on Twitter. Andy? Is it Andy? I think his name is Andy.
Yeah.
That dude's weird. Like, I don't know how much of it's true, but I heard he was sending videos of himself like gooning to people.
I saw that and I was like, you know what? I really don't want to look into this further.
That's what I'm saying. Well, I mean, like everything I know about this stuff is unconsensual, which is the crazy thing. Like I see these things pop up on social media and I'm like, what the fuck? Like I saw the video, like, and I'm like, why is this on like autoplay on fucking Twitter? Yeah. Like, this dude, like, it just was very creepy because apparently he did it without the person asking. Crazy.
Like
Andy Signore. That's it. That's his name. Andy Signore. Yeah.
I was going to say a few months ago, you saw the infamous Jeff Schneider doing something similar on Twitter where he
that was crazy though, where he's like begging women or something like that.
Yeah, that was extremely weird.
No one knows, as 3Dub is being irregular here so often, we never know when Pagey is going to show up. He did show up on the last stream, but it was after the stream was over. He like popped into the chat when we were pretty much done. So all right, we got a $5 super chat from Naruto. Eric, have you watched Doctor Who yet? Would really love to hear your thoughts on the newest episode. I was going to watch it tonight, but I was catching up on other stuff, so I will probably watch it between now and Monday. Tonight and Monday. So I'll let you know on Monday what I think. Actually, I'll probably catch up on all of it by Monday. Are you watching Doctor Who at all, Jake or 3Dub?
I haven't watched Doctor Who since the Matt Smith days.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it since the first episode of the new 14 Doctors.
Oh, well, everybody's behind, I guess. All right, so I wanted to take a look here because video game movies, and we have several different topics, but this is a good one to start out on. Video game movies have had some really big films recently, and so I wanted to take a look at sort of where we're at. I wonder if I can open this up in another window and make it a little bit more visual.
I tried watching.
I love how you talk about big films, and then the first thing I see is Borderlands down there.
Yeah. So, as you can see, there's a lot more low-ranked movies than there are high-ranked movies. And I was going through these trying to remember some of the ones that I'd seen and if I agree with some of these scores. So we'll start here at 22. Borderlands, absolutely it's bad. Borderlands was bad. Did you guys see Borderlands?
Nope.
Sadly.
Oh God, it was
I'm
so
surprised Tekken's not on here, so that means it must be lower than a 10.
Yeah. So I watched Borderlands with people. Oh, there's a GTA 6 trailer. We can watch that too.
Yeah.
So I watched people with Borderlands that were not familiar with the game at all. Like they had never seen it, never played it. They said the movie felt like a really bad video game. Like watching the movie felt like a really bad video game. And I was like, okay, fair enough.
That's understandable.
Assassin's Creed, is that the one with Michael Fassbender?
Yep.
I think it wasn't Magneto.
Yes. Yeah, he was the he was the lead.
I didn't know his actor name.
I don't really remember this one.
I actually do. And
stand out.
What's funny is I actually liked it, but I get why the fans didn't.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember it. Maybe that's probably why it's a 19. It's just unforgettable or forgettable. I mean,
it's better than Borderlands.
That's absolutely it is. Ratchet and Clank. I've never seen this one. 22%.
I didn't see it.
No, I haven't seen that.
I didn't see Need for Speed either, so I don't know.
I saw the first clip on Sonic when he was watching the movie.
Gotcha. Yeah. I did see the Warcraft movie, and I thought it was okay, but it wasn't great. I don't know if I'd put it at 30% personally, but I didn't think it was great. Resident Evil, what is that? Welcome to Raccoon
that
City.
was the one with Robbie Amell, I believe.
Oh, that's right. Was that one any good? I don't remember that one.
It wasn't as good as the 6 movies, I will say that.
Which is weird because this one I believe was advertised as like being true to the game, and the other ones were not really. So that's funny. Yeah. Five Nights at Freddy's.
That's the one with Shaggy.
Yes.
Shaggy.
Yeah. Is it Matthew Lillard?
Yeah, Matthew Lillard. Yeah.
32%. That's interesting. I didn't see that one. Uncharted at 41. I actually enjoyed that movie.
I actually enjoyed that one too.
Did you not like it, Jake?
No, but that's probably because I love the game so much.
Yeah. I'm not outside of comparing it to the game. No, it was not nearly as good as the game. But I thought it was. If you take the game out of it, I think it's a fun movie.
It's fun enough on its own, and I was actually surprised that again, ignoring the characters that they're playing, I was surprised at how well Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg worked together because I didn't think they would. And those two were actually compelling to see together. But as an Uncharted movie, man.
Monster Hunter at 14. I actually forgot there was a Monster Hunter movie.
Same.
I forgot. When I saw it on this list, I was like, oh shit, that's right. We did have a Monster Hunter movie. I went and saw it in theaters and I completely forgot about it. It disappeared for me.
Didn't know that it existed.
The Angry Birds movie. Holy shit.
I did see.
Is it a 44? Is it? Because I didn't see it. Is it that bad?
It's a little higher than a 44.
Okay. I didn't see Rampage. That's the one with The Rock.
Yep. That was actually really good. I really liked that. It was basically like a white version of King Kong.
Oh, that's because it's based on the game. Yeah. Tomb Raider 2018. True story. We were looking for movies to watch tonight, and this was advertised, and I'm like, I forgot. I don't even know if I watched this movie.
I did. I was shockingly surprised.
What's the actress? What is Alicia Victor or whatever her name is?
Yeah.
I think the last time I saw her was in Jason Bourne. That's the last movie.
Oh, Vanessa says Uncharted was not bad. It was fun. Yeah, I thought it was a fun adventure movie. Meister said there was a Ratchet and Clank movie. That's what I'm saying. Like I didn't know.
Yeah. And the Tomb Raider I thought was like very, very just middle of the road. Like probably one of the most average films I've seen in a while.
Yeah, well, it's a 52%, so I guess that sort of tracks.
Yep.
Minecraft movie is at 48%.
still haven't seen it.
Still haven't seen it.
What's weird is Minecraft is it? Wait, is this done by like Rotten Tomato scores?
Yeah.
Well, then why is Minecraft above Tomb Raider?
Okay, it says recent, so I guess it stops at a certain year.
Yeah, but the score is 48.
Oh.
See, these are all going in order. So why is that one above?
They made a
this?
boo-boo.
It should be over here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Anyway, Until Dawn is 51%. I didn't see that one.
Don't remember it.
I thought Mortal Kombat 2021 was boring to me.
I actually liked it.
So,
Yes, but definitely not 55% though.
I don't know. I have a really unique experience with that movie because this is getting a little personal, but from like the end of 2020 to start of 2021, I'd experienced 3 back-to-back family deaths.
Oh,
and
wow.
That was the first movie that kind of like got me back out into the world again because I had been a recluse for a few months.
Mhm.
So that was like the first time I was back out into the world again and enjoying myself in a theater. So
You had
for
a good
that
time?
reason, yeah, like that just kind of gave me the good time I was looking for.
Right.
But I thought it was still a solid movie on top of that.
There's a sequel for this coming out, right?
Yes.
Yep, it's coming in
with
October.
Yeah.
Carl Urban.
That's right, playing Johnny Cage.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not sure how I feel about that, but we'll see.
Next up, we have Super Mario Brothers movie at 59%. I thought that was a fun movie. I had fun with that film.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those movies that, like, I think it did exactly what it needed to do. It didn't go above and beyond.
I tried to make a tribute with that, and I got like flagged so many times.
Oh,
I'm
it's
what?
Nintendo. What do you expect?
I'm like, what the heck?
Jack Black was a scene stealer, though.
Yeah. Okay, we have Sonic the Hedgehog, the first one, at 64%. What do we think about that?
Should be like 70% for me.
You think it should be higher?
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't love it, but there's far worse on the list as we can see.
Number 5 here is Gran Turismo at 65%.
I didn't even watch this.
I didn't either.
I did.
It's a racing movie, right?
It was based. It's based on like a almost, I think, true story. Like, there was a wreck on the
So
on that
Gran
racetrack.
Turismo is the branding of the game, but it is based on a real thing that happened.
Yeah.
That's weird. That's really weird. Detective Pikachu is at 68%.
Again, another one I didn't see.
That was actually fun. That was fun.
We have Sonic 2 at 69%.
Yes, Sonic 2 is better than Sonic 1.
Okay.
So I'll give them that.
And then all the way up at 72%, we have the Angry Birds movie 2. I've never
Angry
I've
Birds-
never seen this movie.
Angry Birds was actually better than 2, in my opinion. I don't know.
And then at number 1, we have Sonic 3 at
Shadow.
85%.
Shadow, yep.
It's pretty
Makes
crazy.
me excited for the new ones coming out.
That just kind of proves to you that there haven't been that many like recent video game adaptations in the last 10 years. The fact that Borderlands even made it onto this list at all.
All right, so let's take a look here. I want to go over some of the ideas that were revealed about Thunderbolts. And these are things that I guess were being floated around and then didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
Thunderbolts co-writer Eric Pearson reveals scrapped ideas for the film. Now, these are ideas, which means these probably didn't make it into production, so it's not like there's some like
Cut scenes.
director's cut or something. So, Bill Foster becoming Goliath. I actually would have liked that, but to be honest, I don't know how he would have fit in the movie, but would have been okay.
It would have felt so random to bring it back in. I want to see him as that character, but he would have felt so out of place.
Yeah. Now, this is something that actually did get filmed and cut, was the different fate for Taskmaster.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So apparently Taskmaster makes it all the way through the movie
Yeah.
in another cut. It has a really great relationship with Ghost. That's Ghost's like partner.
She had longer tasks in the movie in the first.
Yes, 100%. Which really sucks. But I'm trying to think back, like the scene when they come out of the vault and they're trying to figure out how to get out of the bunker.
Mm-hmm.
Where was that re-filmed after they decided to scrap Taskmaster? Because I don't know where she would have been in that scene.
I
I'm
think
guessing so, because when they're doing that, movement up the
Yeah.
top type thing, they're like, I doubt she was just removed.
I think she like she woke up after being shot. Like basically they get out and then she woke up.
Well, the room got burnt though.
Well, I mean, like she's Taskmaster. Everything she does is like very like.
I mean, apparently she has the fight is even different before she gets shot, where she's like able to copy more abilities from people, and it kind of annoys them.
You know what kind of like upset me during that? Like basically we saw her in Black Widow like dodging bullets and she didn't dodge this one.
Well, I mean, to be fair, it was like almost point blank.
Well, I mean, Black Widow got her pretty good. I mean, like point blank, literally.
It's also difficult to program moves when you have multiple assailants.
Yeah. Let me see here. I'm trying to.
It's like Ghost went peekaboo.
I'm hoping we get a proper Tony Masters Taskmaster at some point.
Well, we do have something that I want to talk about in regards to that, but we'll get to that in a second. Let's see. So, before we move on, let's read through the original summary, apparently, of what Taskmaster was supposed to do. Let's see.
Where's this coming from?
I think it's the same article we looked at before, but we didn't read all the way through it. I'm reading here.
Oh, the stuff we were looking at before the film came out?
No, well, right afterwards. It's from Entertainment Weekly, but all right, here we go. Let's look at this briefly before we go through the rest of this, because I want to sort of because I honestly it's a shame that they got rid of Taskmaster so early, but I believe that the reason they did it is because Kevin Feige gave them the clearance to get rid of one character, and this was the one character that they could get rid of.
It kind of spoiled that was going to happen when you saw, like, all the chair revealings for Doomsday. When Taskmaster was the one character they didn't show, I was like, well, that kind of spoils what's happening there.
Yeah, so it says here, Antonia shows up in Ox's Vault Level 5, sent by Val to kill John Walker. She recognizes Yelena from their Red Room days and fights like a machine, using her mimicry and reflexes to dodge and strike. The team realizes Val's playing them, and they're trapped in an incinerator. Antonia confusion hints there's a deeper issue with her. She opens up about her past. An explosion at 9 messed up her brain, the one caused by Black Widow, leaving her with patchy memory after years of lab experiments. She snaps at John Walker for being a jerk about it. This vulnerability bonds her with Yelena and Ava Ghost, who get her pain. Ava makes a video for Antonia with her explaining things in it to help her every time she feels lost. Antonia saves the day by spotting the sonic barrier power source and stabbing it with her sword, which is different than when John Walker hits it with his shield, letting Ava phase out to free them from the incinerator. Post-explosion, her memory glitches and she attacks Walker again until Ava jogs her memory with the video she made. They all share Skittles. That's funny. In the elevator shaft escape, Antonia shares her history, her dad's accident, lab life, and Val's false promises to fix her if she did work for her. She connects with Ava over shared trauma. On the vault roof, Antonia anchors a helicopter with a grappling arrow to mess with Val's goons and gets stuck in the foam until the team frees her. The plan flops. After Bucky ambushes them, Antonia's memory flickers, but she recalls punching Walker. She's the only one who's able to get free and kicks Bucky's ass in a fight. He's impressed by her mimic abilities until he outsmarts her. Her story of Val's control softens Bucky and releases the others in John's plan to stop Val, but not before they take a breather and share some Skittles. Okay, cool. At the airfield, Antonia backs Yelena's call to save Walker and Bob after they were taken by Val. Seeing them part as a team, she storms Avengers Towers, tearing through the guards, and tells Walker he belongs, hitting him emotionally. They share Skittles. Okay, so there's a lot of Skittles sharing between these characters.
We already got enough Skittles product placement in Shazam, so we need it here.
Exactly. let's see here. In the showdown in the penthouse, Antonia nearly kills Val but stops short when Sentry arrives. She's shocked but fights hard. And this is the shot that shows her in the scene with them. Teaming with Ava. Sentry wipes him out. She tosses her weapons to sway Sentry, helping spark his doubt about Val's orders. He doesn't listen. Antonia escapes with the team. So she gets all the way outside of the tower.
Oh.
So that's it. Like, she escapes with them, then they go through the whole process with Sentry and the Void, and she ends up being a member of the new Avengers, only to find out that she gets cut. That's... I mean, as somebody who acted on a film, that's gotta be fucking... I don't even know.
Yeah.
I don't even know. All right, so let's go back over what we got left here on the list. And what do we got here? All right. John Walker becoming Red Hulk. I would not have liked that.
Nope.
Big thumbs down on that one. Not only does it not make sense based on Brave New World, but I don't think John Walker becoming Red Hulk would have made any sense. Like,
Wouldn't have done anything for the character.
No, it would have actually made the character worse, to be honest.
It's like they successfully created the super soldier serum to backfire, which doesn't make sense.
Adamantium being used as a plot point, I mean, that would have been fine. I don't have an issue with that.
No, I mean, you've got it in, like, they've talked about it in 2 MCU movies already, so
Yeah.
just making it more of a thing wouldn't be that far-fetched.
They did mention in Avengers, now that I think about it, that when they were trying to recreate the super serum and it didn't go his way. That was basically the Green Hulk's origin.
Well, this is interesting. The story taking place entirely in the vault. Depending on like how that worked, like if they went different levels and each level was like vastly different, that might have been interesting. But
that concept's not bad on paper, but
yeah, I don't know if it would have worked for a full 2 hours.
No.
Each member having their own shame room in the void. So they did just, I guess they didn't film any of those. Like they just assumed that we would skip through them to get the ones that were like the lead characters in the film.
Yeah.
The one I wanted to see was Bucky's.
You know what? I would have liked to see that too, but I think that they feel like Bucky has probably, we've seen so much of his backstory.
Yeah, with Bucky, like it would have just been showing us stuff that we already knew.
Right. Wait, hold on. Where's this at? There's a story earlier, I think it was either today or yesterday, that kind of struck me. It was yesterday. Here we go. So apparently there was an idea kicked around that OT would have played the male version of Taskmaster in the MCU. Now, I'm not saying that he would have nailed it, that he would have been really good. I liked him in the role he played in Black Widow, but this actually makes a lot of sense to me. This feels like, to be fair, I don't know. I'd have to look into it. Maybe some people in the chat know better than I do. But I feel like this might have been the original idea, is that he was going to be the person behind the mask eventually.
Yeah. And
then they changed it at a certain point.
Well, the thing, too, with Taskmaster is that in some of his iterations, he's got, the skull mask that he's infamous for, but then his actual face that you see underneath that is a mask, too. So,
oh, really?
Yeah, it's like they've done that in certain iterations before. Hell, even I think in what the hell is that cartoon? Well, I think when he appeared in Ultimate Spider-Man, that cartoon, they did that same thing, where it's the skull mask, and then you see the guy under there, and then you see just the face thrown to the side. It's like, okay, wait, who actually is Taskmaster? And then can't remember how they pay it off, but I just remember that detail, so it wouldn't be a new thing.
Right. So this would have meant they were not going to go the route of Taskmaster being part of the Black Widow program. It would have been a separate person altogether. Now, they don't say for sure if it was going to be 100% comic accurate, but having Taskmaster as a man probably would have been I think it would have been the comic accurate Taskmaster if I had to be.
Yeah.
If I was speculating here.
If not the full comic accurate, at least closer to what we get than what we got.
Like a person that mimics without technology or anything like that just has the ability to do that.
Because it's not tech that does it. He has photographic memory.
Right. Yeah. That would have been pretty cool. We also have a good shot here of the Sentry costume. This suit fucking amazing to me. This is one that makes so much sense with all the lines and the designs in it because it looks like it was designed by a corporation for him to wear, opposed to the Superman suit that I'm not totally on board with all the lines in it, but I'll get used to it or whatever. I love this suit. I love this. So
I just thought of something. I don't think it's going to happen, but what if that Superman suit is a corporate suit?
I mean, that's what some people have said.
Like, I don't see Superman going again, like being in the corporate to begin with, but that would be kind of interesting. That would explain why he's like in the same room as the other guys.
There are a number of ideas on that list that I'm glad did not.
True. Blue Jay here says, I have a question. Does Taskmaster have any significance to Black Widow and the Red Room?
In the comics that I know of, no.
No, I don't think so. I just did a quick search. And it looks like basically the only connection that's ever been made is the one in the Black Widow movie, which is the new storyline for Taskmaster. But I feel like they're going to completely flip all of it on its head after Secret Wars. We're probably not going to see that version come back. Like, they're not going to resurrect her and bring her back. I think she's gone. I think we might see, like, the Tony Masters version.
Yeah, they have an opportunity to go full clean slate on a lot of different aspects there.
Yeah. Actually, one of the rewards that the chat got, I think last week or the week before, is a MCU discussion stream where we just talk about, like, what we'd like to see after, like, Secret Wars.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
What we could expect to see from all that.
I still kind of want to see a Taskmaster versus Spider-Man.
Lewis Pullman looks like Tom Holland.
If anything, it kind of reminds me of Brainy from Supergirl, just the way he looks.
Oh, yeah. We got a super chat here from Cameron, $5. Eric, Assassin's Creed movie is on Max. Maybe you can rewatch the movie. I would not mind rewatching it. Look, okay, so chat, let me know. And, because again, I haven't seen it. If you have seen the movie, is it worth a rewatch? I'm not a big stickler for the game, so I'm not going to be holding that against it. I'm just curious if it's even a good movie. I do vaguely remember it. I don't think it was bad when I watched it, but that doesn't mean anything. I could have easily been very drunk or something.
I think he was just giving you $5 as incentive to rewatch the movie.
It's not like unrewatchable. I'll put it that way. Like
it's just boring.
Oh, is it really? Isn't that the one where it's like time travel and stuff in it? Isn't it time travel?
I mean, the concepts work, but geez, I don't know. I didn't like it that much. And
so
I'm a casual fan of the games. I'm not like a diehard or anything.
Yeah.
But the movie, man, that was not my thing.
Oh,
so when I hear scoops like this, or I read scoops like this, I always take it with a grain of salt. So take this with a grain of salt, everybody. But it says Sam Wilson has reportedly recruited his Avengers team off screen in the MCU. Let me tell you why I think this is a speculation, but it's probably right. Is we only have one movie between now and Doomsday, and that's Fantastic Four.
Wait. We have two. There is one that's scheduled for February that we don't know about.
But do you think they're still going to put it out?
I think, I still think they're going to put it out, but we don't know exactly what it is yet.
I would be very shocked if they're working on something that we don't know about right now.
Yeah,
but
I think that it's going to be I think in that, was it in credit scene is going to be like a Sam Wilson, recruiting.
Well, let me just tell you, regardless of what that movie is, it's not going to be an Avengers movie, so we're not going to get Sam Wilson recruiting the Avengers, right? So between now and Doomsday, we're not going to have that opportunity. So it makes sense that his Avengers team would happen between now and then off screen. Even if we don't like it, it just makes sense.
Yeah, because with where we are in the universe at this point, this has been one of my biggest worries is that, like, I don't want too much of Doomsday to be spent answering the question of who the Avengers are.
You know,
Right.
you know what worries me is like
what's the bridging point between that, answering that question, which is wild that it's still unanswered, but what is the bridge between that and then Doom and also all the Fox stuff? Like, how do those things, like, what's the cross, you know?
You know what worries me is he could be basically stealing Miss Martian's Miss Marvel's team. Basically, he's going to take over that.
You know what I want to do quickly while we're just sitting here talking about it, because I think it's quite interesting. What would be his team if we're assembling a team based on who we have right now in the Avengers, not the new Avengers, because clearly they're completely off the map there. We have, obviously, Sam as Captain America. Let's talk about who he could realistically recruit off screen that would be at his disposal between now and Doomsday.
Are we sticking to safe like the OG Avengers?
Well, no, just anybody that's in the MCU now that could be created into an Avengers team. Who do we think makes the most sense in that spot? And we'll get to a stopping point where we're like, okay, this is the full roster. But we have to go with who is available, and because he's not going to be traveling to space, right? He's not going to be doing that. So it has to be people available to him on Earth that could commit to being part of the Avengers.
Two of them that come to mind are Miss Marvel and Kate Bishop.
I don't think they're going to be part of the Avengers.
And Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi I could see. But I think that Kate Bishop and Ms. Marvel are going to be part of another team. Right? Am I going to be outvoted on this? Because
I think if they started something and then their plane changed, so I think that Sam Wilson's going to pick up the leftovers.
Let's go with the most obvious one first, though. We've got the new Falcon. So we got
Torres.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also think that Shang-Chi is probably a good guess for the new team.
Yeah.
I don't think Kate or Kamala are going to do it, but I will do this. We'll put a little Kate Bishop, and we'll put a little asterisk here for, well, actually, we'll call them by their names, Miss Marvel and Hawkeye.
If that February movie is not, so whether it is or if it's not the third Strange movie, he could potentially be one as well.
Okay, so we'll put Doctor Strange in here. Good choice. So they're saying Captain Marvel. Do we think Captain Marvel would be on this team or no, as one of the Avengers?
Well,
is that locked in? Like, would she lock in, or would she be sort of like an asterisk, like Hawkeye?
Yeah, but she would be an asterisk.
Okay, put her here, just in case. I'd like to assume that she would, but
she's basically unreliable because
she is on Earth, but I think she's still responsible, like Green Lantern is. If there's something going on, she has to go somewhere. StarLord is on Earth, though. That's true.
StarLord would be an asterisk too because he has prior commit. Well, he has a connection to Guardians. So.
He does, but he's also his own character. Like I could see him saying yes, but
okay.
The reality is, though, I think StarLord. This is no offense to him, but he was kind of the regular guy in a team full of superpower people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he relied on that a lot. He has a lot of ingenuity. Like, I think he's totally capable of holding his own. But would he want to join up with a team of Avengers without all of the elements of space that he has at his disposal?
I do know that Thor would be is kind of confirmed in Doomsday. So
it's not kind of. He is.
Yeah, he is.
He is, but I don't know if Thor is available on Earth. Right? Do we know what Thor is doing right now? He's with his daughter. We know that.
Yeah.
I think he's in space, though.
No, I don't think so.
He's not?
No.
Well, didn't we see him on another planet at the end of the movie?
Because the daughter gets taken to like a Camp Half-Blood type place.
But there is like a time, like he's not.
Yeah, but
there.
we can't look. The way I'm doing this is we confirm stuff that we know. Like, no speculation about where they're at now or whatever. We know that they were on another planet at the end of that movie, and we have not seen him come back to Earth. So I don't think Thor is a safe bet. Doctor Strange, we're not sure if he went to the Dark Dimension or what. We just know that they saw what was going on. Captain Marvel has an asterisk because, like Green Lantern, I think she's responsible for going to space, but we don't know if she's going to choose to go to space or not. We can't speculate that.
I'll say Shuri, Black Panther.
Oh, that's a good one. And she's probably supplying a lot of the technology for them now, so
yeah,
that makes a lot of sense. Somebody in the chat said Valkyrie. I don't know. Would Valkyrie do it? Would she be an Avenger?
I don't think she's a team player.
I don't think StarLord has those powers anymore, Jason. I think that was severed.
Yeah, didn't he sever that in part 2?
I think so, yeah. Unless I misunderstood what happened. Let me check. Hold on.
There's a lot about part 2 that confused me. Hey, Mr. Lance, what's up? Hope you fixed your glasses.
Yeah. No, it says here that StarLord lost his powers at the end of Volume 2. So no, he's just a regular guy.
I thought I remembered.
What's up, Lance? I don't think M'Baku would join like an Avengers team. I think he would definitely defend Wakanda, but I can't see him like being a regular member of the Avengers.
He would have the same sort of connection with them that he had in those movies, like that he had in Infinity War and Endgame.
Yeah, there's certain people that will join in for like really big things, but I'm talking about more of like card-carrying Avengers.
Like the core people. Yeah.
I have this in like my back of my mind, but I would think he would potentially ask Spider-Man or Daredevil, and they would basically say no.
I don't think Daredevil is going to be in these movies.
Well, on top of that, we're talking about Daredevil, who literally just got back in the costume. I don't think he's going to join Avengers.
Like I think he would say no.
I would say that Spider-Man is a good bet, but I don't know when he's going to say yes. I think if they asked him, he would say yes, but I don't know when that's going to be.
It's also possible that Spider-Man won't be in this first Avengers movie.
Probably, yeah. I think he's going to be in Secret Wars. I don't know if he's going to be in Doomsday.
Yeah. So
let's put an asterisk next to that because we honestly don't even know what his world looks like at the moment because we don't really.
And this is just hypothetical. Could he travel back?
So let me tell you my criteria. My criteria is people that we know where they are. They're on Earth. They're available, and they would most likely say yes to being like on call for the Avengers. That's what I'm saying. Like.
The thing that I'm unsure with about Spider-Man is I think it has the potential to be an Ant-Man and the Wasp Infinity War situation where the two films are kind of happening parallel to each other, and then you see whatever happens at the end of Doomsday kind of extend further at the end of Brand New Day, and then that paves the way for what happens later.
What about Hulk? Somebody in the chat said Hulk. I don't think Namor would do it. I don't think Namor would join the Avengers right now.
War Machine.
Yeah, I guess War Machine would do it.
Yeah.
He has a lot of baggage to unpack.
I look, out of everybody, I feel like he's one that would probably just say yes anyway. So Vision, we don't know where Vision is. I would include him, but his show hasn't come out yet, and I don't think he's going to show up on the Avengers before we see his TV series.
Remind me, isn't he like dead basically?
No, he's in another body now.
Okay.
He just doesn't have all of his memories.
Rocket and Groot?
Aren't they on the New Guardians though?
Yeah.
Right, but like could that be kind of like reintegrated into them?
Oh, Ant-Man. Ant-Man would probably do it.
Ant-Man, yeah, probably.
He is in Doomsday.
Rocket and Groot I feel like they're sort of adjacent to Avengers. Like they would join in, but not be a part. Like Wong. I think Wong would help with the Avengers, but I don't think Wong would accept it. Wong is very much like I'm the Sorcerer Supreme. I'm watching over my stuff. Like with Namor is part of his world. Like he's the ruler of his world. He's not gonna. I mean, that's kind of if you know anything about Namor in the comics, that's always his thing. Like I have responsibility to my people first, and everything else is second.
Yep. So and you put Ant-Man there by extension. Do you want to just throw in Wasp?
Well, I don't think. I think the actress that plays Wasp is done.
Oh, is she done?
I think she's done. Yeah, let me double check. Hold on.
It is funny when you look at the fact that the third movie is called Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, and despite the Wasp being in the title, she does fuck all in that movie.
Let's
But
see.
Michelle Pfeiffer's Wasp is the one that's focused on, which
Has
is
it been
priceless.
has it been confirmed Haley Atwell is in Doomsday, or was that just a rumor?
So it's not just Marvel. Evangeline Lilly actually announced that she's not even acting anymore. So
Oh shit!
yeah.
So was it confirmed Haley Atwell was in the movie?
No,
I didn't see her name. There was only like 3 women announced.
no, it's not. It's just speculation.
Also, we have to remember that when he forms his Avengers, it's not going to be characters that take up space in other teams. So, like, the Fantastic Four would not be part of these
No.
Avengers. It's going to be people that he knows that he has that are available between now and Doomsday.
Yeah.
So,
I'm trying to think, like, who has he had, like, even those same sort of connections with?
I think Cassie is going to be in whatever team gets formed with the younger characters, whatever that is. Oh,
Yeah.
Darren has arrived. Hey, Darren, what's up?
Hello, Darren.
Good to see you.
Hello, folks.
We're just talking about what the new Avengers roster could be if Sam is going to be like forming the team off screen, which is the rumor, going into Doomsday. And the asterisks are the ones that I'm not sure if they're going to be on the team based on like just vibes. And my criteria has been like characters that are available that aren't already committed to teams that are willing to pick up the call at any point. I've discredited a few of them like M'Baku and Wong and Namor because I feel like they're all adjacent. They've got other things going on.
But
So this is the list that I have. Is there anybody that I'm overstepping on here or somebody that I've forgotten about? Or
I mean, I'd argue Thor, right? Thor's announced for the movie.
yeah, everybody said that. I feel like that's probably accurate. I was just telling 3Dub, the only issue is we see Thor at the end of Love and Thunder and he's with his daughter traveling the universe. Like,
I literally had the epiphany, like, from Eternals, Star Fox. Like,
you're being very, very hopeful there that we're going to see Star Fox.
I'm hoping.
I'll add Thor because I feel like I'm being like outvoted on that one, so we'll put him on there.
Have you brought up like a Hulk yet? Because I feel like Hulk.
I did mention Hulk.
We touched on it.
But do we know what's going on with Hulk right now?
No.
All we know is that he has a son now.
So let's put She-Hulk down here in the little asterisk area just to trigger people. We're gonna say
I think Hulk's pretty possible.
In that same asterisk area, do you want to put Ironheart?
Oh yeah, sure. We can put any of the
They better not have her appear in that movie just to further advertise her show.
I really like the pitch. People being like, Sam needs a lawyer to fight this lawsuit thing. It's like, oh, She-Hulk.
Yeah.
So so I think we've got the Swordsman. No, Werewolf by Night. I wish we'd see more Werewolf by Night. So Moon Knight. I don't think Moon Knight would join the Avengers.
No.
I mean, in a world where he's more associated with them, maybe I would see Moon Knight more in the sense of like showing up at a street level team, like with Luke Cage and Daredevil and Iron Fist and all those characters. I could see Moon Knight doing something there, but
slightly possible. StarLord, maybe.
Yeah, so we were talking about that. My only issue was he doesn't really have a lot of tech and powers that work on Earth. Most of it's like space-based stuff.
Sure.
Do you think that he would still pick up the call? I mean, okay, so the truth is I think he would pick up the call.
Right.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah, but like I got nothing else to do.
Yeah, so I'm going to put him on here. I feel like he's one of those characters where he doesn't bring a lot to the table so much, but Loki is like super powerful. He has no reason to join the Avengers.
My reason for why Loki's not a good thing. No one else knows he's good.
Yeah. I can't wait to see Wonder Man. I want to see what that show's about, but I don't know if he's actually going to have powers in the MCU or not. Have they confirmed that? He's an actor. Is he just going to be like acting like a superhero?
I don't think they've said yes or no to that yet.
Well, here's the deal, Jason. I'm not talking about a global threat on the sense of like a team coming together to fight Thanos. I'm talking about your everyday, like we will help because we need to for whatever it is. And a lot of characters like Namor and Wong and people like that, they're not going to be sitting around at the beck and call of the Avengers. They're just not going to be.
No. I don't know if I brought this up, but I remember because I haven't seen the film in a while, but would Nebula be someone that's brought in because she worked with some of those OGs in Endgame?
She probably would, but I think isn't she off on like her own little journey or something?
Yeah.
All right, so let's type in. We have the new Avengers with a Z.
Mm-hmm.
So we have Bucky. We have obviously Yelena, Black Widow.
Walker.
We have Red Guardian. We have John Walker, U.S. Agent.
We have Bob.
We have Sentry. Yeah.
Yes.
We have Ghost.
Ghost.
And you have
R.I.P.
Taskmaster. Oh wait. Darren and I said it at the same time.
R.I.P. Taskmaster. Okay. So we have a trademark battle between these two teams.
Battle of IPs.
Who's winning the Avengers title based on these rosters?
Young Avengers.
I'm going to say right now, you guys don't understand. Like, we're looking at all of this here, right? Right? All of these guys. I have news for you. This person would body this entire team.
Yes.
The only people that could possibly put up a fight on that team would be Hulk and Thor. And if we're talking about magic, maybe Doctor Strange. Everybody else would get absolutely 100% bodied by Sentry.
There's been a large conversation recently about it being like, who would win the OG 6 Avengers or the current one? I'm like, no, that's not the conversation. It's the OG 6 against Sentry.
Right.
The other aren't even in the conversation at all.
Like,
I mean, to be fair, if you take Sentry out of the team, obviously the OG Avengers will win.
Iron Man would beat them all by himself.
Yes. But you add Sentry in, all of a sudden, then it's like, well, like we saw how powerful he is. So I think it's a pretty fair statement to say that Sentry would single-handedly. Look, if I'm a betting person, I'm saying this fully confident. Without some sort of weird circumstance, Sentry would beat the entire Avengers.
Yeah.
You beat Thanos. Yeah.
So
he would even beat Thor.
To bring him down.
Oh, he could beat Thor. Thor and him one-on-one. Thor would put up a fight, but Sentry would still win.
Yeah. It would be like a longer fight, but
the best person, like we're talking physical strength to fight Sentry, would be Captain Marvel. That would be the best person.
Sure.
And even she probably would lose.
Yeah, like the only one I could somewhat see is like a Scarlet Witch, just because she has so much like unvariable stuff.
I feel like Scarlet Witch at full power could body this entire group of characters.
Yeah.
At full power.
And like to that point, Elizabeth Olsen has said she's doing other stuff. So
I think I
don't think we're gonna see her here. And
well, the good news is they don't have to worry about it because canonically she's deceased, so they don't have. I mean,
all those people that are saying, oh, she's lying. You're taking a thing out of Andrew Garfield's book. Newsflash, guys! You remember back when you were hyping up everybody for Multiverse of Madness? Ryan Reynolds told you he wasn't in the movie, and you went, "Oh, ha ha! You're pulling an Andrew Garfield." Guess what? Ryan Reynolds wasn't in the fucking movie.
I still think she survived somehow.
Well, I'm not saying that she doesn't, but they don't have to answer that question. That's the thing. It's like we're sitting here debating because even Screwface here, like you think she's dead. I don't think she's necessarily dead. I think that she's probably still like somehow alive. But until they have to answer the question, they're not going to.
I mean, why show a glimmer of red at the end of her scene to not bring her back?
Well, because I think, and I know people hate this, but I fully committed to this belief. If she doesn't want to do Marvel anymore, they're going to recast her in Scarlet Witch will just come back as a different person.
Yeah.
That's just the reality of it.
I do think, I don't know if you're going to ask like who could be on the like new Avengers team or whatever, but I am very curious about War Machine though, because I could see him landing on both sides.
That's a good point.
Because like he aligns more with the character like Sam and Falcon. He does. And stuff like that. But he's also a military man. He is he's government through and through. I could see him like logistically working with this new team because that's who the government says is legally the Avengers kind of thing. Yeah. Like I could see it as
Zen here is talking about Photon. Photon is extremely powerful, like ripping through galaxy powerful with enough energy, right? But the problem is that she's not physically powerful. What Sentry has that I think a lot of people don't always consider is he's not just Superman. Like he's got reality warping abilities. So it's like you're dealing with Superman who can also send you into a pocket dimension. So it's
you're mixing Superman and Scarlet Witch, basically.
Yeah. That's what makes him so dangerous, which is why I think he's gonna. I feel like so. Let's just I mean, we're theory crafting this whole thing here, but could you imagine, like, Thanos is attacking Earth with the Infinity Gauntlet, right? And all the Avengers have done everything they can to stop him. And they're like, okay, we don't have a choice. Bob, just can give in to the void and do what you're going to do. Sentry, and I stand by this, would have wiped out Thanos' entire army by himself.
And honestly, I'll one up that a little bit. If Wanda would have been at her full potential, she would have done the same.
Oh, Wanda definitely could, because she almost defeated Thanos without being fully the Scarlet Witch.
She held him back and destroyed an Infinity Stone at the same time.
I mean, the team on Volmir almost took him down, right? Like they were into this from taking it off. It wasn't for the StarLord thing.
That was Titan, not Vormir.
That was Titan. Okay.
One of my favorite battles, though, and the only reason he didn't win is because I don't think he understood exactly what he was up against, was Doctor Strange versus Thanos. That was a really cool battle, and I feel like he just didn't fully understand the powers of the stones that Thanos had at that time.
And this is just wishful thinking, but I kind of want Quake back.
Quake would be so good. Quake is like on another level. Like, Quake is literally one of the strongest characters in the MCU.
Unfortunately, Quake would probably also be on the new Avengers.
Yeah.
They kind of did this to, I don't know if they're going to pay this forward or not, but you go like back to Infinity War where you see that fight with Strange and Thanos, and Strange uses the bands of Sidorak, whenever he calls all those red straps onto him. For anybody who knows what Sidorak is, that's how the Juggernaut gains his abilities.
Oh, yeah.
So wonder if we're going to see any of that paid forward whenever they introduce all the mutants.
Yeah, I'm just looking at this lineup here. So, like, these two characters here are technically the most powerful on this team.
Easily, yeah.
Ghost and Sentry. All of these characters are essentially... Yelena's not a super soldier, but they're all essentially... What she lacks in strength, she makes up for in, like, skills and stuff.
Agility, yeah.
She held her own against John Walker.
Well, until he started, like physically just overpowering her. That's the thing is super soldiers, like... They're strong, but they can like a good example is when Captain America in Captain America: The Winter Soldier in that movie, where he's fighting in the beginning of the movie against the what's that character's name? That's it. I couldn't think of his name. Technically, that guy was holding his own against a super soldier because he was just a skilled fighter. So their strength and stuff only comes into play when it's absolutely necessary.
Because John Walker was doing the same thing when he was fighting Bucky and Sam.
Right.
So
yeah,
they literally thought that 10 guys would be enough to stop Captain America in the elevator.
Well, they're just 10 soldiers, so they weren't going to be enough. Like they'd have to do more than that. We did see we are 4 out of 10.
I think that fight described basically his intuition of when to strike first, because he waited for certain guys to be alone so he could take them one-on-one and take them off.
A lot of people were also talking about this. We're going to drop this down for now, though. We're 4 out of 10 super chats, you guys, and we have an hour left, so come through. I think you can do it. We will start the poll in about 20 minutes. If I don't remember 3W, you have to remind me. So the thing about, we talked about John Walker, and then we talked about versus Bucky versus Steve and their powers or whatever. Steve is really strong. But Steve was given the super soldier serum when he was already a weaker guy, whereas John Walker was given it to it when he was already super athletic. So he received it at the peak of his physical prime, basically. So technically, on paper, he is stronger than Captain America.
Yeah.
Technically,
it's that whole perfect soldier versus good man dynamic from the first movie.
Yeah, Steve would still win, I think, because he's more dedicated.
100%. But the other thing is, I think Bucky was also technically slightly stronger than Steve because he was a bit more physically fit than Steve was when he got his. He was missing an arm, but he was still more physically fit when he got his super soldier serum. So he's technically, I believe, canonically a little bit weaker than... No, he's stronger than John, I believe, because he's got the potent one, whereas John got the slightly weaker one. So, in a weird way... I think John and Bucky are closer in power scaling in terms of super soldier serum or whatever.
John still held his own against Bucky without it.
Yeah.
So
Bucky needs to get a foolproof thing on his arm because I'm so tired of people ripping his arm off.
It made sense that the Wakandans knew how to do it because they gave it to him.
Yeah.
Like they would know, like the tap and then it falls or whatever.
That was cool.
But then it kept happening.
Yeah.
It just got old.
I know this happened once, but is one of Hulk's abilities to grow every time he gets angrier?
In the comics, he does. In the comics, the more angry he gets, the bigger he gets.
Matter
So
he gets, the stronger he gets.
It would be kind of funny if he morphs into the wrestler Hulk from 2008.
The hell?
Like random thought.
All right, so we got
hilarious.
a comment here from Naruto, $5 super chat. Contributing to the stream. Thank you so much, Naruto. Darren, have you finished season 1 of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers yet from Ranger Nation? I just finished it a couple days ago.
I don't think any of us have started the final batch.
Nope.
Oh my god.
We have 25 episodes to watch in like 10 days.
Oh, this is like the old days when seasons were like super long, right?
You poor
Yeah,
man.
like season 1's like 60 episodes or something like that.
That's why you were able to watch the Arrowverse shows with no problem. You had plenty of training.
So, somebody did the math and said if you watched every season of every Arrowverse show in chronological order, it would take you like years to watch all of it.
There's like 900 episodes. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, if you don't have a job, it's like 20 days.
Oh my
It
gosh.
like it like beats out like One Piece.
All right, let's see what else we have here.
It took me 20 days to watch One Piece and catch up on
crazy.
1,000
Let me
episodes.
see if I can find this. I saw this and I didn't save it. I should have done that.
After it, the worst thing about binging One Piece, by the way, is there's this one character that's basically he's the voice actor of Krillin. He gets really annoying like 100 episodes in if you don't space it out.
Let me see if I can find it. Oh, I had a whole article up here. Where did I put it? I don't know if it's out yet on Rotten Tomatoes. It's not. I'm seeing early reactions to the Karate Kid movie. Have you guys seen some of these?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm trying not to look too hard because it breaks my heart, but yeah.
I just don't trust him.
Okay, so let's look at this here. I'm going to share this. So I want to reiterate, when we look at these early reactions, we pretty much do it for all the movies that we love or whatever. Don't necessarily take this to heart. If you want to see the movie, still go and see the movie.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I fully believe in supporting things that you love. Don't let these things sway you. I have read these before and they've been wrong, and I've gone and seen the movie and I'm like, oh no, I don't believe that or not. All right, so here's some of the first reactions of the Karate Kid movie. Hashtag Karate Kid Legends is very entertaining from start to finish. Its frenetic pace and familiar plot will leave fans of the saga happy. Little development of the villain and female characters, but it's compensated by good cinematography, action, and charisma of the protagonist. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So that's sort of like a semi-positive one, which I think is pretty good.
I don't call them villains. I call them bullies.
Karate Kid Legends follows the same formula as the franchise with all its cliches to appeal to nostalgia. Even with that, the charming charisma of the cast, the humor in the fights make the film a mere entertainment product that seeks nothing more. That said, the editing seems terrible to me. Okay, so I've read through some of these already. Editing seems to be one of the biggest things I see brought up, is that it feels oddly edited. I don't know what that means. I mean, I know what it means in like when somebody says, "Oh, it was edited in a weird way." I get that, but in terms of this movie, I don't know what that could mean. Like, I don't know what that.
It could be like the way they did the point of view for the editing could be weird, and they're not used to that style.
I mean, it could be pacing. It could be how it's cut. It could there's a lot of things that
It could
go involved. Yeah.
Because didn't they do like a 360 camera view for the Crisis on Infinite Earths, where they basically had this like wide angle?
What are you talking about?
When they were fighting the shadow demons on Supergirl's Earth, they had this wide angle, like they put a drone up.
You're talking about the cinematography, then?
Yeah.
Okay.
That could be weird too.
I don't know. I'm hoping that some of these are wrong. I'm trying to find the one where I saw some not great ones.
There was the one. What was the one I saw earlier?
don't know. I'm seeing more positive ones now. Maybe there's better ones coming out. Maybe people are.
The one from Hollywood Handle was like.
Oh yeah, hold on. Let me pull that one up here.
Here, I'll share it. It was like, this is one of the worst movies I've ever seen, or something.
Oh
like,
really? I didn't see that.
Yeah,
part.
I was like, holy shit.
Did you put it into the private chat?
Yeah, I'm just about to post it here.
Okay. Oh, by the way, I want to point out the marketing for this is great. So Thunderbolts is morphing into the Lilo and Stitch marketing.
I saw that. Yeah.
This is like, I think Disney and Marvel are making some really good choices right now in terms of.
What's funny is they are owned by the same people.
No, but I mean, I think that's what makes it so brilliant is that they're not they don't seem concerned is what I mean. Like I feel like they feel good about these movies.
Yeah, and you know, it's like inspired by the classic Lilo and Stitch movie. Like they did all the marketing that was like crossing over with all the other Disney products and stuff like that.
Still remember that trailer where it's the ballroom dance from Beauty and the Beast, and you see
Yeah.
Stitch crawling across the stage. Still remember that.
Yeah.
There's that one. There's the like Little Mermaid one where he crashes into her onto the rock.
I am going to go ahead and predict a very big box office for Lilo and Stitch. I think it's going to be a huge success for Disney.
I think it's $1 billion.
It'll do better than Snow White did.
Oh, for sure. Like it's so funny because I think Darren, you went and saw that and you were super like excited to go into it, and then when I asked you to be honest, I was like, just tell me how you feel about it, and you were like, it wasn't that good. I was like,
I was very mixed on it. Yeah. It
was funny. Like leading up to it, I saw a bunch of people, saying that they thought Rachel Zegler was going to ruin it and Gal Gadot was going to be the best part, and then the movie comes out.
It's the opposite.
Rachel's amazing. I'm not even kidding. You take out Gal with anyone out, like put anyone else in that spot, it's like a 4-star movie for me.
Yeah.
Like it really is that simple.
So
I actually think if they take Gal out and put anybody else in her role, it would have made the movie even better.
Literally, anyone else. Put Jake there, it's a better movie.
Oh,
guaranteed.
wow.
You could have like basically Gal in the background with no scenes, and it will be a better movie.
Darren, you're making me blush. You got to stop doing that. But hey, if I can get those residual checks, I'll take it.
All right, so let's see what this review says here. It goes, Karate Kid Legends is one of the worst films in the franchise. It's super rushed, which I find very weird. Formulaic, soulless, and wastes Jackie and Ralph's character in every way possible.
Yeah, I don't believe.
They gave it a 2 out of 5. I looked at the whole review earlier. This bums me out because I think we talked about it a while ago, and I said I felt it wasn't going to do well. I said that I didn't think it was going to do well. I think that Cobra Kai is a very good TV show, and they kind of should have stuck in that road with it. And I don't want to be right, but I feel like maybe I am because I'm seeing a lot more negatives about this than I am positives.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'm really like if this is like. If it's just like a basic movie, that's fine. I don't care too much about this. If this is a bad movie, I will be quite pissed because Karate Kid ends in a way where it feels like it's such a legacy ending for such a legacy IP.
Yeah.
And if they follow that by a very middle of the road product, I will be quite disappointed if that's the legacy of the Karate Kid franchise.
Yeah.
I haven't even seen that one movie with Jaden Smith yet, but that's how a lot of people are describing that movie as a very middle of the road one. I don't even.
It's interesting because I really love that movie. Like it's like really kind of good.
I love this picture and name. This is awesome.
Yeah. Cullen Prime. The negatives want me to watch it even more.
Yeah.
So short car. I'm honestly not shocked that so many movies on the list. Jonathan here says a movie doesn't have to be good to make money. There's plenty of them that make $1 billion. No, we've talked about this in a lot of detail. I don't think the financial success of a movie dictates whether it's good or not.
2019.
However, I think when we're talking about an IP like Karate Kid, that's not supposed to be a one-off thing. It's part of a franchise of movies and TV shows.
Yeah.
They will stop making stuff. Like they'll just stop if it doesn't do well.
Yeah.
As to what DJ Eric has said, like if I come out like happy, I don't care what the critics say.
I don't either. But the problem is with okay. So Darren, do you remember the conversation we had about this movie and the nostalgia stuff this year.
Yes, 100%. Yeah.
I said, and I think you agreed with me, that we've got a couple of movies coming out this year. This is one of them that is going to show if 80s nostalgia is dead.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to move up a little bit. We need to move into the Y2K era of nostalgia and leave this for the older folks like myself to love, or put it on a TV show like Cobra Kai because it works well in that world.
And like what's so cool about Cobra Kai is like it starts out definitely leading into the 80s nostalgia of those movies, but it becomes its own thing with its own separate characters and lore and like by the end I feel like you're more in tune with the new characters than the old characters, and that's how it should be done. And it seems like they're trying to do here, right? They're focusing on a new kid, and you would hope that this kid would go on to do his own trilogy and all this stuff. But you're 100% right. I unfortunately don't think this is going to do well. And
we had another one. What was the other one that we said was going to be one to watch for like 80s nostalgia? Wasn't there something else that we talked about?
I know we got He-Man coming up. That's
another one. That's the other one. Yeah.
I'm worried about that one.
We have a new Goonies. We have a new Gremlin, right?
Right. Okay, so I predict if any of those three are going to do well, it's going to be the Goonies.
Really?
I think the Goonies might do well.
I think Gremlins.
Gremlins might, depending on like what
Gremlins
direction
is
they
like
go with
cute little animal creatures that people like to buy merch of. Like that is like, look at Mandalorian, look at Lilo and Stitch, look at like those kind of things.
I mean, like on that 80s nostalgia, topic. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I don't think Beetlejuice did amazing, did it?
The second one,
it did pretty good.
Yeah, they were happy with it. The studio was because they're doing a third one.
And they greenlit 3 a couple weeks ago.
Wonder what the title's going to be.
I'm going to be like Beetlejuice because.
There we go. No, but I do think we're going to see if we need to move into like the mid 90s and 2000 nostalgia era, because no offense, but Cobra Kai, like what was it? I pulled up the tweet or the comment here, the tweet. Sony had a success right there with Cobra Kai. All they had to do was just bring the fucking showrunner to do the script. It's that simple. And I won't know if it's that simple because TV showrunners and movie showrunners don't always, or script writers for movies aren't always the same. But the concept of Cobra Kai, the way it was done, because we got to remember Cobra Kai was a YouTube show originally.
Yep.
It was originally a YouTube show. So the niche 80s like bubblegum nostalgia stuff was done because the show was so cheaply made in the beginning. And it became a breakout hit when it moved on Netflix.
Yeah.
You move into the 90s era and you're aiming for some of that nostalgia. I mean, the 90s was the time where like everything was extreme. So are they going to lean back into that again?
I mean, I wouldn't be shocked. I mean, I'm not saying I want to see everything come back from that era, but I feel like we're stuck in like the 10 years of the 80s and like the very early 90s. We need to move beyond that because and I might be wrong. Look, He-Man can come out, it can make $1 billion. Then Goonies comes out, makes $1 billion. Gremlins comes out, makes $1 billion. Maybe it will, but if it comes out like this Karate Kid movie, studios and there were some points made that just make a good movie. I agree. I think they should make a good movie, but the problem is the studios never ever think studios never sit back and go, that IP we have, maybe if we just make a good movie. They're never going to look at it that way. They're going to just go, people aren't interested in that, so we're not going to make it anymore.
And
that's the studios.
Or I think this is a really prominent case too. There is just so much lost trust in those IPs that on the off chance where they do end up making a good movie, it's just not going to be pushed and marketed. Case in point, Transformers 1.
Right.
Great
movie,
absolutely. But the marketing failed that movie.
100%.
Absolutely failed it.
Yeah. It should also be said, like this is a conversation me and my friend Taj have had quite a bit. We have been saying they've been pitching Cobra Kai spin-offs. They've been, obviously they had the like Mr. Miyagi one that they're trying to do, and then also maybe a second one elsewhere. And like we've said, we think they're waiting to see the success of this movie if people are still interested in more Cobra Kai, Karate Kid stuff.
Right.
And until that point. And if it doesn't do well, there's a chance that the studio might be like, well, we're done with this franchise for now. Put it in a corner.
And you know what? The thing is that these reviews could all be wrong. The movie could come out and people love it. But we have to wait and see. There's a lot of competition. This year is going to be between now and August. It's a very competitive film market because we have a lot of things that are most likely going to do well.
Just July alone.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going against Mission Impossible. It's going against Lilo and Stitch, and then it's at the tail end of June, which is a bunch of stuff as well. And what you said is like a $200 million budget. Like,
Yeah.
Ooh. I mean,
Well, I was just looking that Lilo and Stitch's budget was well, I don't know what the budget is, but the projected weekend opening domestic is 120 to 140.
Yeah.
Domestic opening. And Darren, you think it'll hit that?
yeah, I
there's a
think
chance to.
I think it's going to do big. I like if it doesn't make $1 billion, I think it gets close to $1 billion. And they're going to keep that in theaters for a couple months, I think.
Yeah.
All summer, probably, because that's a movie people go all summer to see.
And it's a family film, which always does really well. It's
Yeah.
family films have a longer life in theaters than anything else.
Which is like we talked about the like whole Disney thing, and a couple weeks after that they have Elio coming out, which is their like Pixar movie, and it's like, why they're so close? They should both be able to make money.
Yeah.
What's funny is there was like a 3 family friendly films coming out at the same time, and Lion King, Mufasa and Sonic weren't competition still, but they still made like their money.
There's a way to overcome that if you do it right. Like Oppenheimer and Barbie both were able to make a ton of money being out at the same time. But that's like an anomaly. Like typically movies bump heads in theaters because there's only a certain amount of theaters you can be in, and there's only a certain amount of IMAX screens.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
If you are a movie that's in an IMAX screen, you're going to make more money than anything else because IMAX screens are more expensive. That's
And
just the reality
Moana
of it.
came out at the same
Certain
time
studios
too.
realize that.
There's also
because
Christmas though, so Christmas you always have more opportunity
grinded-
to.
That is one thing certain studios realize is that they can use like those same day projections kind of to their advantage depending on what it is. Because like back before the release date got changed, originally Beetlejuice 2 and Deadpool and Wolverine were slated for the same day.
Oh, really?
So imagine what kind of like a bumping back and forth that would have been. And
Yeah.
then Beetlejuice ended up getting pushed. And then Deadpool and Wolverine actually got moved up because it was slated for September of 24, I believe, and then it got bumped up to July. But like you said, that whole Barbenheimer thing, it was kind of an anomaly. Not all ones can work like that because that Michael Jackson movie was going to release the same day as Minecraft. That didn't happen.
Obviously.
Yeah, it
was. That would have been funny.
Okay.
To remind you, did you put up the poll?
Yeah, I'm going to do that right after this super chat. So Staggervore, the 999 super chat. Thank you so much for the super chat, Staggervore. Not exactly related. Well, it doesn't have to be related. Like I said earlier in the stream, this is kind of a all over the place stream. Not exactly related to anything we're talking about, but I wanted to let you know there's an article that mentions the CW has further lost money in the mid-teen millions in Q1. I did look this up here. It says here, the CW network reported increased financial losses in the first quarter of 2025. According to Nexstar Media Group's Q1 2025 earnings, the CW losses grew by mid-teen millions. They're not saying exactly what it is. The uptick in losses, listen to this, is attributed to, and you're not going to be shocked by any of this, okay, too much sports programming.
What?
The CW expanded its sports content, leading to a higher abortimization, I don't even know what that word means, of broadcasting rights because they had to share so many rights, and pushed away a more diverse group of advertisers in the process.
Really? I had
Is that
no
even a
idea.
word?
I don't know. And it says advertising revenue declined because of this. Nexstar's overall advertising revenue dropped by 10.2% year to year, primarily due to significant decrease in advertising and softness in the broader advertising market. It also says here that lack of diverse content have pulled people away from the CW. But it says despite these challenges, which I also think that Nexstar's CEO stepped down, didn't he? I think he stepped down like the end of last year.
Yeah.
Despite these challenges, Nexstar remains optimistic about the CW's future. The company projects the CW will achieve profitability now by 2026, focusing on expanding its sports program and exploring new advertising models.
So you're going to push it until it works. Wow.
Well, remember they were going to be profitable by 2025. Now it's 2026. Is when they're
Yeah.
pushing it.
Lies. Never.
I'm not
possible.
surprised at all. Look, the thing about it is, I said this when the sale happened, that the only thing of any value on the CW was the shows that they had.
Yeah.
Nobody thinks about the CW in a positive way. Like, the name the CW is always associated with some sort of shade that's being thrown somewhere. Yeah. So the only thing they had were the shows that they were broadcasting. They got rid. Let's keep a track here of what they got rid of, and you guys can correct me on this. But their biggest shows were axed. They got rid of Walker, which is crazy. The spinoff for Walker. They got rid of that. They got rid of Superman and Lois. They didn't want to fight for that either.
Winchesters.
What was that?
Winchesters.
Yeah, Winchesters. They got rid of that. Which that's the market that you want to tap into. That was the market they should have been tapping into. All American is the only thing that's sort of hanging on, and I don't even know if that's going to get another season. Is it?
No, it's
getting another season.
It's hanging by a thread. I think this is going to be the last one.
But it did end on a cliffhanger, so they're trying.
I feel like they went all in on sports and what is it, like reality shows, but like game shows and things like that. They went all in on that stuff. And surprise, surprise, no one's tuning in to watch people play Monopoly or whatever the fuck it was that they were doing. Uno, stuff like that. Nobody wants to see that. Nobody's tuning in for that.
Why tune into the TV when you can get like a $2.99 pack of cards?
You could literally play it by yourself.
They would make more money showing people playing Jackbox games. They would make more money doing that.
It's one of those things where they're hoping, like, they're not trying to necessarily find a new audience, but they're trying to just hope people watch it. At the it's those like daytime viewers of like the like old grandmas that are just like click a channel. Or
the
like,
problem is by the time that stuff airs at night, those people are not watching TV anymore.
No.
They watch their Judge Judy in the daytime. They're not watching it at 8 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
No.
If you add scripted like sitcoms, then you might actually have a chance.
Well, that's the thing though. They got rid of their scripted department. Like they got rid of that. That's gone.
That's like not good.
What's so crazy is they did have one of the like more interesting lineups on television. Like they were one of the only networks that I felt like had a bunch of these high profile like cinematic universes going. Like obviously like the other networks had their like firefighter shows and like stuff like that, but like you had Winchesters, which is a spin-off to like
All American,
the most popular show of all time. All American had 2 separate shows running. Walker had 2 separate shows running. Legacy was an installment in a 3-long one of the most popular shows of all time. Like you had profitable shows. The issue isn't that they necessarily weren't good. Sometimes they weren't good, but the issue is they wouldn't market them. They have such marketable shows.
Yeah.
People just knew about them.
Yeah.
Winchesters was such a big show. It could have been such a big show. People didn't know it existed. When it was canceled, everyone's like, wait, this came out? I had no idea this was out. If it was out, I would have watched it.
Right.
Like,
and then you run into a whole thing. And then you run into a whole thing with Legacies, and the amount of people I brought that up to, they didn't know that it was a spinoff of Originals. And they were hooked into Originals, and they were like, wait, there's more of this? I was like, yeah. And like,
I guarantee
word of mouth just didn't save them.
If you put those shows on a different, like if you gave half of those shows to like Amazon, fix it up just a little bit, actually mark the shows, they're hits. Put like Winchesters on like Netflix, it's a massive success. It's a massive hit. People would love it, but people just didn't know about it.
Nope.
Yeah, one of my favorite cinematic universes is NCIS. So. I agree with that.
NCIS has gone crazy. They're on show like 857 or something crazy.
No, it's more like 7.
Okay.
I know, but it's
So we're really close. We're 7 out of 10 on the super chat, you guys, and we have 12 minutes left. So I'm putting the poll up now. There are some really fun options here. We only need 3 more super chats. So let's start the poll, and I'm going to tell you guys what it is. So Team Battle, you picked the winner. Basically, that is going to be what I talked about in the past, where the chat will pick a villain, and then we have to build a team to defeat that villain, and then the chat picks whose team is the best team. So that's that one. The other one is finish the show. We can talk about how we would have finished Batwoman, how we would have finished Legends of Tomorrow, and then build Flash Season 10, which is what we would have done with Flash Season 10. So these are the options. We need 3 more super chats of any tier on the Reloaded channel. If we hit that within the next 11 minutes, then we will go with what you guys pick on those. Those are really fun ones. I wanted to do something different than what we've been doing in the past, so that's why I picked those.
When would this be in theory?
during a bonus stream. So, not this one specifically, because we have some other stuff we need to do, some other things that people have won. But when I do my weekend streams is when I include this, or if I do one on a Nocturnal Nerdcast, I will tell everybody in advance, like, this is what we're doing next stream or whatever.
Okay, cool.
So,
I'm just curious. Did you talk about, like, since this is in the title, did you talk about the whole X-Men director speculation?
not yet. We haven't got to it yet, but we're going to. It's in my bookmarks. So, because that's exciting. I'm actually really excited about that.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, you can tell I
know you came prepared.
Yeah.
So you guys, we got 2 more super chats. 2 more. We're almost there. Speaking of that, Naruto with the super chat here, $5 super chat. If 80s nostalgia is dying, which I hope it's not because I'm a kid of the 80s, how do you think that'll impact the final season of Stranger Things? It's the ultimate 80s nostalgia. Okay, so the difference with that is Stranger Things is a IP from now. Even though it pulls on 80s nostalgia, it is a, like, in the last decade IP, which means people picked it up recently. So I don't think it's going to impact it all. Matter of fact, I think, depending on how they do it, it might be one of the biggest final seasons of any show on Netflix, to be honest.
You can still use the tone without having to rely on IPs from that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is so funny to think about the fact that, you know, like a lot of those kids that started, you know, like they're gonna like they're in the early 20s to like mid 20s now, and I've seen all these talks that, oh, you know, like, were they gonna use, you know, like a little bit of CG to age them down? I was like, there is nothing more 80s than having 20-plus-year-olds play high school. So why would they?
That is true. Like all the Jason movies and stuff, it's like they all look like adults.
Jason movies are like Back to the Future, Breakfast Club, anything like that.
All right, we have a Team Eric member chat from Anthony. Mark Pedowitz knew how to run the CW. Looking back, you're absolutely right. I would go back to that era in a heartbeat because we had so many shows on during that. And actually, he fought for shows. Yeah. Like some of the shows that we got were because he fought for them. We wouldn't have them otherwise.
6 superhero shows running at 5 days.
I want to be very clear here. I know people kind of dunk on it, but if you look back at the CW, at the height of the CW, when we had like all of the fun shows on, that was one of the best times to be a DC fan.
Crazy.
You got so much. Yeah, even the stuff you didn't like, you could just ignore it and continue to watch the stuff that you loved.
They
what was
had
it, like
higher
2021? We had like 8 shows on that year.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
They reached a higher peak in popularity than the movies accomplished.
Yeah. People kind of bag on it, but I look back on it with a lot of like love because this community that we have came from that. We are remnants of that community that kind of had to evolve when it went away. And I think a lot of people look at that. He's got his stuff there. Good luck finding those anymore. They're really hard to get.
Yeah.
So
I'm all for media preservation, man.
Yeah. All right, so here we go. Staggervore with a $4.99 super chat. I'd also like to point out the CW is also big on sci-fi fantasy. True, the 100 was great in its early seasons, but now none of the broadcast networks have a sci-fi fantasy show. Okay, so this is one of the benefits the CW had that the networks don't have. Is it was basically filled up with shows that were money was being spent on them by 2 major broadcasting corporations. Right. You had CBS. You had Warner Brothers that would pour money into shows because they wanted them to go into syndication. That was why when people say the CW wasn't profitable, I have to push back on this all the time. It was never intended to be a profitable network. It was a network to get shows into syndication so they could end up with billion-dollar deals like they did with Arrow and The Flash for Netflix.
Yeah.
And a number of those like Arrowverse shows, what was the criteria? What was it? You had to reach 5 seasons for syndication? Is that what it was?
Yeah.
And
100 episodes.
Like a number of those shows didn't reach that.
Right. But then you had shows also, I think, what was it? Like, I'm trying to think. There's another show that made a lot of money for them. Riverdale. Riverdale had a big Netflix bump, like $1 billion deal with Netflix.
And
Some places aired there originally, too.
Yeah.
I think they used too much of that money to buy the writers' drugs.
Also, if you hit like 200 episodes, you get to go overseas and touch base on that fan base. Like basically, Smallville got that.
It's always funny when I show up in somebody's stream and they start to like wax poetic about the CW era of TV, like the 21, 22 episode seasons, and they want to talk about the shows. And I'm always like, they'll say something and I'll go, oh, that's wrong. and then I'll have to correct them on it. And I'm like, you don't understand. My entire channel for over a decade was about CW shows. I know a lot about their business model. I know about all the stuff that went into the shows. I know where they were filmed. I know how much a lot of them cost. I know how many episodes most of the seasons had. Like, I tell them, I'm like the closest thing to an expert on the business side of the CW because I did all that research on this for my channel. So I know a lot of it. I know how much money went into it. I know about the tax rebates. I know about the difference. Like Supergirl's financial, like the finances for Supergirl were so crazy going from season 1 to season 2 and moving everything because of that, and what it cost the show to build the sets and stuff. Like all of these things are things that I knew about. People are like, you know all this stuff? I know it because I had to like study it for my channel. So, here Darren coming up with the 199 super chat. Jake is a firefighter?
I wish someone would have told me, okay, where is Darren finding this stuff out? Because I don't tell anybody these things. I'm not public with it.
Oh.
Darren, do you
have my sources? I don't know.
Oh.
Darren has got I think he pulled Savannah Welch from Titans and turned her into a real life actor.
Supergirl season 1 was filmed in Los Angeles.
Yeah, that was on CBS too.
And it was super expensive, which is why they got rid of it.
Yep. But I don't think you had a similar expense issue when it came to because like season 1 of Stargirl was on like that DC Universe thing, and season 2 was CW.
But the quality stayed up. That was. I actually think season 2 looked better than season 1, to be honest.
I think if they,
I love Eclipse though. So
I think if they kept with the 13 episodes for all superhero shows, I think the quality would have been higher.
For what?
If they had the same amount of budget but had 13 episodes, I think the quality would be higher.
Oh, it would have been, but you would have lost all of the character development that we got throughout the seasons.
That also depends. I mean, you can have a tight episode order, you can have a higher budget, but if you don't have a good writer behind it, it's going to crash and burn.
We wouldn't have like like Team Flash, but we would have a Flash.
Yeah, no doubt. They did lose money for like VFX and stuff like that. That's very obvious. But the cinematography, the acting, a lot of the characters, storylines and stuff, all were very strong, even when it came over to the CW.
It was very noticeable because they kept having to break, Stripe. Like in season 2 and 3, never like one episode a season or something.
And then you get into things like Superman and Lois with their final season. I mean, like obviously there are moments where the VFX, like you can tell they were not the best, but there were also clear as day moments where it's like, okay, there would be another actor or two here in this scene logically, but they can't pay for them to be there. So
a lot of that was like their like family and stuff. Like
which in certain ways, I think that improved the season over previous ones.
That makes me love season 4 even more because like they put literally all they had. They're like, who has family, who has friends, who has all this stuff. Like
for Superman and Lois,
the like all like the future.
But isn't that such a Superman thing to do?
Yeah, that's so
like
cool.
I mean, I feel like the fact that they had to rally to make the season work so they could get it done for all of us is such a Superman and Lois thing.
It is like people were like making fun of the flash forward scene at the end with all the kids and like oh they look weird and blah blah blah. That was like the real cast, real family and friends that they brought on for like free. They'd be like, hey, we need people for the scene. We don't have money. Can you please do this? We're really cheap. Like that's so cool.
And keep in mind, if that wouldn't have happened, we would have had another Superman thing that ended without a proper like wrap up.
Yeah, he's the only Tyler's Superman is the only one in the 50 years like that we've had live action Superman that has gotten a true ending.
Right. And also Brandon Routh's Superman would have never had any kind of a wrap up if it weren't for the crossovers.
Nope.
So there's
that would have, and then you also to kind of go on to that same thing. John Wesley Shipp's Flash would have never got
absolutely.
A wrap.
That's the other thing, Jake. I can't believe this is blowing my mind. Like I always think about this. A lot of those older shows that we loved didn't get endings, and the Arrowverse managed to give us some sort of like a finality to these
even
shows.
Birds of Prey from the 2003 got like somewhat like basically erased.
Yeah. I mean, like the fact that we see things like even Smallville had a connection to the Arrowverse when they.
I don't like that one.
Well, they brought it in, but yeah, I mean, like I feel like they gave us so much, and for so many fans to look back on it and kind of like poo-poo the entire Arrowverse, it's like you didn't even give it a chance.
It shows you how spoiled everybody was.
Yeah.
I think there's a renaissance coming. Like I think
so?
very much so, like how Smallville has in the last 5 years or so. couple years, 6-7 years, people are going to look back at those like, oh, we had it good. This was a fun era. Yeah.
I mean, you think about it, the Arrowverse did stuff we will never see in movies.
Nope.
You had 2 live-action Flashes on screen. We should have seen that in the movie, but, not getting to that.
Technically, if you count Kid Flash, we had 3. We had Wally, Barry, and Barry.
no, I meant like actor-wise. Like you.
Got you. You
had Ezra, John, and Grant all in the same crossover.
That's right. Love him or hate him, Ezra also showed up on.
That's crazy.
And they reached out to the people at CW to do that. Like, just shows you how much.
I love that Ezra's Barry's like the Flash. Oh, I like that. So canonically, he calls himself the Flash because of Grant Gustin's Flash.
Because
and you wouldn't have any of this without Smallville. So.
Whatever version of Justice League you watch, he's never called the Flash in that movie. So he gets it from Grant.
And you end that movie and what was the number one question everyone asked? Where's Grant Gustin? Where's he at?
Yeah, and then because they say that we had to pick and choose for our cameos, it's like, so you're going to include a Jay Garrick that no one's ever seen, that no one's ever heard of, that you'll never see again, who didn't really add anything, even though John Wesley Shipp and Grant Gustin are
they could have done this. Hey, Grant and John, we have a scene where we just need you to show up, put on your suit, and run in a spot for a few minutes or whatever. You don't want to show up for that? They
didn't even have to film anything. They had 9 seasons of footage from that TV show that they pulled. Yeah,
but they did it with Titans, I think. Basically, they reused the scene.
But I am honestly glad they didn't, because now they can save Grant's movie cameo for a good thing in 10 years.
Good thing.
Yes, save it for James Gunn's Crisis on Infinite Earth in 15 years or something.
All right, we have 2 more super chats. By the way, we hit the goal. Thank you guys so much. We rallied at the end. We got the goal, which means you guys get to pick. Right now, let me tell you what's winning so you guys can decide if you want to vote. We are close with Team Battle. You pick the winner. So basically the way that works is I will put up a poll. We'll have a special stream just for this with 4 different villains. The chat will pick the villain, and then we have to build a team. Darren and I did this a little bit. It's kind of like what we did, but we have to pick a team from a lineup of characters to defeat that villain, and then the chat will decide who the winner is. That one's in first place. Second place is Building Flash Season 10. So, guys, get your votes in. We got 22 votes, but we have 83 people watching. So, get your votes in. Naruto with a $5 super chat says, I don't think people realize CW never even produced their own shows. They were made by other networks. Well, Greg Berlanti made most of the shows that they were. Busy guy. Greg Berlanti was making so many shows for the CW.
I'm surprised he even took the offer to even get involved with them in the first place, because he and Mark Guggenheim were originally attached to Green Lantern in 2011.
Yeah.
They did a pass on the script with Michael Green, and they had Berlanti was going to direct. Warner Brothers came out, pulled the rug out from under them. And then I'm surprised that he, whenever they said, hey, do you want to do another thing? He's like, fuck it, I'll do Green Arrow on television.
Yeah.
And you got what we have now all brought together with.
Wasn't Flash supposed to be like a Green Arrow or a Green Lantern spinoff thing? Weren't they supposed to be connected?
Oh, you mean the show to the Ryan Reynolds property?
Yeah, wasn't it a movie at first and then they got shifted to a show, or no?
I don't believe so. No,
okay.
There were original talks back in the 90s, I believe, to have John Wesley Shipp's Flash be adapted into a movie, and then it got reworked into a show.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
All right, we have a super chat here from Staggervore, and then we're going to talk about some juicy X-Men news. 999 super chat. Well, speculation.
Darren said,
the CW, it's not about Bo DeMeo. The CW has been attempting to keep longtime viewers tuned in by picking up international shows with stars of former network shows, but clearly it's not working. Well, I think the problem is that I don't think the general audience is as stupid as they think they are. I think people realize that these are all sort of just thrown together, shipped in overseas shows. Because in reality, the CW was basically a platform for shows made in Canada, a lot of shows made in Vancouver and Toronto. And that market isn't as big anymore because the CW doesn't pay for content.
I said
so. That's a problem.
When I was watching the CW and saw everything just disappearing on me, I'm like, if Walker disappeared, I'm done. that was the last show I liked.
As soon as Superman and Lois finished, I said I was going to do this for months before the final season aired. I said, as soon as it finishes, I'm getting rid of the app.
I did too. I deleted it off. We have a Roku TV, like our big TV in the other room is Roku. We deleted it off of that, and then I deleted it from my tablet, my phone. I haven't watched it since then.
He didn't say DC X-Men news. He said juicy X-Men news. Someone thought you said DC.
You think we ever reach a point where they're like, oh shit, we made a mistake, and they try to not bring those shows back, but try to go back to those formulas of those kind of shows? Or you think it's kind of long?
I think that they made a big mistake by not sort of focusing in on the streaming ability of their shows, because a lot of people that watch the CW, these 23 episode seasons, will put it on and just let it go and go and go and go. And they could have done that with like an ad supported system, like Tubi or something like that, where it's just all supported by ads. You don't have to pay for a membership. They could have done that, and that would have probably offset a lot of the production costs of the shows. But they made the wrong decision. They said, we're going to give all of our streaming stuff to Max. We're going to shut down kind of our streaming division and focus on live sports. And that was a big mistake. I don't think they should have done that.
That screwed them.
I also
got 3 dubs. I'm sorry.
I honestly noticed that, like, as the years progressed, they basically dumbed down the writing for us. Like, they basically explained the same situation 5 different ways. And I kind of got like really irritated. I'm like, I'm not that stupid.
I don't know if that's their fault or the writing team's fault for the shows. Like, it really depends. Like, the more you think back about it, and I knew I was going to be vindicated on this, Eric Wallace was not doing a great job with The Flash. He had some great stuff, but overall did not do a great job. Nope. I think The Flash's best seasons are like the first 4, maybe the first 5, if you want to toss that in there.
He should have stayed as a writer. Like, I don't think he was fit for showrunner.
When you look at how it's funny when you look at the fact that Season 6, whenever he first became showrunner, they knocked it out of the park with the Bloodworks stuff, and I'm convinced that because of that, it was probably a leftover idea from Todd Helbing, because as soon as the Crisis came and went, it was like Eric Wallace tapped out, and the only real big notable stuff after that was the stuff where he either wasn't directing, and you had all those other crossover characters come in, like Wally, Oliver Diggle, and like stuff like that, or episodes like the Full Circle moment where all the work was already done.
He's really good at like singular stories. These like one-off 2-part episodes that are very isolated. He is not good at the long-term story.
No.
He is not good at that.
No.
And
he single-handedly like ruined Green Lantern for me. Like, he should have left that alone. Like, I would have liked to go in my mind and be like,
that wasn't his fault though. Like that was CW.
They wrapped it up that way because they thought they weren't going to get a 9th season.
Yeah, like that was them trying to like. They probably told him, "Hey, just wrap this shit up. Just like it's time to."
No, I mean, like, they should have left him at season 8 and not bring him back. Period.
Well, no. Again, again, that wasn't the Flash's fault. Like, they were trying to get that spinoff picked up. So like he was going on all the shows. They were trying to very like Legends-esque where they're trying to like set up these things or whatever to put in place.
Yeah.
Even then, you think whenever the final season gets announced and like they say, hey, like it's going to be shortened, it's going to be 13 episodes, you would think that would be the cue to, hey, let's tell a tightly knit, concise story. But no, we're going to have 3 episodes of filler. We're going to have a third of the season where our title character hardly appears, and it's going to be a jumbled mess.
I have a theory that the reason why Eric Wallace did these little like interlude things is because he's incapable of writing a 23 episode story. That's what I think. I think he chopped it up because he's good at doing like 3, 4, 5 episodes of something, but not at 22, 23 episodes of something.
So tell 5 stories then.
Yeah.
Is that simple?
Yeah, you don't need like these periods of filler where there's like 3 episodes of nothing that's going to matter.
I honestly believe, like, if you cut out the filler in season 6, you would actually get all of Miramar arc.
I think people need to go back and rewatch that arc because I still think that arc is good. I think people are blinded by the COVID of it all because it was like an episode, 2 weeks break, 2 more episodes, 4-week break, and people were so frustrated with it. They're like, this sucks. And it's not their best story. No. But I also don't think it's a bad story either.
It's not like it's the daddy mommy storyline.
It was not remotely like it was not even close to a cue of the road the show would go down later.
Yeah. I'll take 5 season 6s over really anything that comes after, to be honest.
I mean, it sucks because what was it, that season 7 episode with like the speed thinking? That singular story episode, like, yeah, that works. But then they
wasn't that part of season 6 though?
No,
it was supposed to be, yes.
That's what I meant. Yeah, like it was part of that same batch.
It was one of those first 3 episodes that got moved into 7.
Yeah.
And
like, that in a singular story works, but then they immediately undo it and go, actually, here's all the reasons why you shouldn't do that, and then he never does it.
and what's funny is like it was sprinkled in the pilot of season 6, and then it waited. I hate when he does this. Like he had like sprinkles of like different stories, like throughout the his run as the showrunner. He didn't get to Godspeed until like 30 episodes later. I'm like, you basically have him in the pilot doing something like that's a clone, and then nothing, no mention of him until like 18, and then you have no mention of him again until like it becomes the Godspeed War.
Yeah. I saw this earlier. I actually started, and then we got sidetracked. But Gwendolyn has been MIA from streams due to finals. Well, I hope you did really well on finals. A lot of my friends had finals the last 2 weeks, so hopefully you did well. You weren't able to see Thunderbolts yet due to finals, which I actually think that we're going to see a lot of people seeing it this weekend that did not see it last weekend.
Yeah, because like they're out of school now.
Yeah. I want to point out also, we didn't talk about this because it happened the day after, but Thunderbolts earned an estimated $7.6 million on its first Tuesday, 51.7% increase from Monday. That marks the biggest Monday to Tuesday jump for any MCU film to date.
Right. I hate seeing all these stupid articles where they're like, sorry to break it to you, this is going to be another flop like Brave New World. It's like, do you understand what the meaning of flop means? Jesus Christ.
Isn't this what I said, Eric? I said this for the last couple weeks. Like that first weekend would be okay, but the second weekend, everyone hears how good it is. Everyone hears all the praise.
Word of
On
mouth
top of that title change, people are seeing that, be like, there's an Avengers movie in theaters?
Yeah.
What the hell? All right.
It's never really been done for a movie before, though. It's so strange.
I saw someone post like this is his 5th time going to it. I'm like, wow.
All right, so this is what I'll talk about, and then we have the Daredevil thing I want to talk about, and then we're going to wrap it up. But so Thunderbolts director Jake Schreier is in early talks to direct the new X-Men movie. Now, I've seen this covered by several different outlets. We don't know 100% yet. I do know there was an article where he mentioned something about this in an interview, but we haven't heard anything official from Disney or Marvel yet. But let's say, hypothetically, this is accurate. What are our thoughts on this?
I think it's a good choice. Like, just off of seeing what he does with this, like what he did with the theme dynamic in Thunderbolts, New Avengers, like what he's done with them, I already have a little bit of trust that he can handle a team dynamic here, because it's not like what happened with the Russos, where it's like, hey, they made one really good movie in Winter Soldier, but now how are they going to handle all these other characters in their next movie? We've already seen how Jake Schreier handles a group of characters like this. And, with the thing too, with the X-Men, there's, obviously there's been a lot of different live action movies, but that means like they're really going to be able to get to these kind of personal team stories, because a lot of, like, let's face it, like, we all love Wolverine, but Wolverine has been like the forefront of a lot of these movies. They've really been more Wolverine in the X-Men than X-Men. So, like, we're actually yes, good show. We're actually gonna get like a team dynamic now, where they actually feel like a unified force.
Yeah,
I'm all for that.
Since you're like a big X-Men fan, I'm going to ask you. I have a question for you. Would it benefit them or tear them apart if they don't have Wolverine?
I don't think they need Wolverine in the first outing, because First Class proved that an X-Men movie can carry itself without Wolverine.
First Class is my favorite movie from that era, to be honest.
I think
what is it? Days of Future Past.
I think First Class is the best movie with the X-Men as a team.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna. I think they're going to experiment with that also in Doomsday. I think we're going to see an X-Men team without Hugh Jackman at first, and he'll probably join in later. But
right.
I think we'll see that team operate.
Based on the X-Men we saw at the end of the Marvels, I think we're actually going to get like a fairly comic accurate looking team in that movie. They're probably going to take the actors and put them in the suits. that's what we're gonna get most likely.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting because like I think they're going to go super, super, super comic booky with this one, and then when we do the MCU version, I think they're probably going to streamline them a little bit. Like it's the suits, but maybe not like X-Men 97 level suit kind of thing.
I think in Doomsday they can literally just do X-Men 97,
exactly,
because it's a big group movie. So
I didn't notice this at first, but they actually put a comic book accurate Bucky suit on.
Oh yeah, in the end of Thunderbolts. Yep. Yeah. I'm totally okay with this. Like we talked about, you mentioned the Russos and obviously James Gunn. There's some directors that do really well with a lot of characters. Like they just do a really good job of doing, like moving a lot of characters around and making it work. From what I saw in Thunderbolts, with the exception of the storyline that was cut that we talked about earlier with Taskmaster and Ghost, I think everything else was really good. So I don't really have an issue with it. So I think it's fine. I think that we need to make sure that they're bright, they're colorful, that they're fun. Not necessarily all the way X-Men 97, but they still need to feel like that type of vibe.
They're not afraid to embrace the comic roots.
Yeah, 100%. So I'm good with that. And Anthony here says, makes sense. This is probably the movie after the Secret Wars. I think we're going to see a lot more X-Men stuff after the reset, most likely.
There is a movie.
Serenity, how are you doing?
Because Feige said that he has like a 10-year X-Men plan for after Secret Wars. So that does two things. One, it completely, shuts down all those people saying, Feige's going to leave after Secret Wars. Now, if this is to be believed, that man's not going anywhere.
No. I think he's locked in for a decade, right. I feel like.
Second, it's good that we have, like, if this is to be believed, that there's actually a planned out, structured, like, that this whole thing is going to have like a skeleton structure to it, because the Multiverse Saga has good individual projects, but it's been missing that connective through line up until very recently.
In fairness, I think they also had that for the Multiverse Saga, but they were then hit with COVID, writer strikes, and their main villain having to get cut. So I give them a little bit of like it's messy, but I think there's a reason. So
right, and like there are a few other different things that go into it too, because like going into it, we all thought that probably Captain Marvel, T'Challa, Doctor Strange were going to be your big players.
Chadwick is another one. Yeah.
Like obviously Chadwick Boseman passed away. All the stuff that happened with Kang and Jonathan Majors, that put a wrench in their works too. They didn't want to go to Doom immediately, but then after that happened, where they're like, okay, now we have to pivot. We have to pivot to something. And if they I don't think that, maybe this is a bold prediction, but if Disney was not able to access all those Fox characters, they probably wouldn't have let a lot of their big hitters from the Infinity Saga go.
And I think it's going to be struck after Secret Wars. It's going to feel like the first three phases, because Kevin Feige's not stretched thin anymore, and he thought out this plan. He has everything set, like what he's going to do for 10 years.
And I think I don't know. I think we talked about this, Eric. I think what they're doing with shows are going to be very different too. We're not going to have all the shows, which I think Kevin Feige has recently said, hey, not my bag, not what I really wanted to do. This was a studio thing. And now I think it's going to be like, okay, Daredevil, and then maybe one other show, maybe like a S.H.I.E.L.D. type kind of show or something. And then it's going to be your regular 3 movies a year going forward, which I think is the best decision. Eric, I sent you a little image there down in the thing. I thought we could relook at that really quickly, just because I am curious with this kind of seemingly going forward. This could be the first official Phase 7 project to go into production.
Okay.
It's so weird saying that. Phase 7.
I know. We'll come back to your comment after this, Cameron, but let's look at this here. So
this is what I'm very curious about is, will X-Men be the first project outside of out of Secret Wars? And if that's the case, that is 2 months after Avengers Secret Wars, unless things get shifted around.
Yeah,
that would be an insane thing to do. Avengers Secret Wars.
Well, it would be like $1 billion. That's what it would be essentially. So,
Yep.
Like, do you want to go that hard out of the gate, or do you want something in between to soften it a little bit?
Yeah. Well, looking at this lineup here, Blade's not happening, obviously. So.
Hey, they already told you in the other movie there's only going to be one Blade.
Yeah. So 3Dub brought up the February 13th date. Do you think there's anything coming there? I don't think so now.
I think that's...
I still think so.
I threw in...
and there's another...
I speculated before this that it could potentially be a third Strange. I think I even said this earlier in the stream. But if that were the case, or whatever it were, I feel like we would have gotten something by now, considering we're like 8 months out from that.
There's no way they have time to film. They
Unless
wouldn't count like a presentation, would they? Like, that wouldn't count under their like...
No, I don't think so, because there were those talks that I think this is the case in a way. One of the season 2 episodes of Born Again is going to be a presentation type of thing for Bullseye, or not Bullseye, sorry, Punisher, like they did for Werewolf by Night.
Yeah,
but I don't think they would put that in
under the film
like
slate.
This, because Werewolf by Night, like whenever they showed those whole big slates, that didn't have a slate spot. It was just kind of released as its own thing.
Yeah. Like I don't think that February and November are still happening, unfortunately.
I mean, something could probably still happen in November, but it's not Blade.
What I've seen it before, like people like
actually no, I take that back.
Under like secret conditions, like they don't even have the right title on the filming location.
They have like they would have to start filming like next month, kind of soon. Like that is.
And even then, post-production takes a while too.
Yeah.
And we would be hearing leaks. We would be seeing stuff. There would be rumored things.
I'm actually going to take back that comment. I think the November thing is probably gone too.
Yeah. I think they went out. I think they just want to focus on getting these Avengers movies done, get them out, and I think they want to move on to whatever's next.
Yeah.
Which is something I do actually kind of want to talk about just really, really quickly.
Yeah, go for it.
Like, I am very curious about the Mutant Saga because we're about to be heading into a new saga, and obviously, like, people are gonna be like, okay, the X-Men, but we have to think there's a lot of movies that they've already talked about that they're planning on doing that they also have to put into saga. We have a Thor 4, we have a Blade,
we already had a
Thor 5, Doctor Strange 3, Black Panther 3, Shang-Chi 2, potentially Blade, all this X-Men stuff, any like Young Avengers. Like, there's a lot among this roster. I'm like, how are they going to have time for X-Men? I don't know where they're going to put it. Fantastic Four 2, maybe. Like there's...
And speaking of what, like if we don't have these like 2 movies, we need like these 2 Avengers movies need to have at least a 4-hour run on both of them, because we need some explanations of certain and how they got there. Like there needs to be like some conclusion.
They're not going to release a 4-hour movie to theaters.
I mean, they did it for Endgame, right?
That wasn't a 4-hour movie.
It was
long enough to have those.
I think both will be 3 hours. I think we're about to do 2 3 hours.
That's what I'm, basically 3 hours.
We're gonna have a potential of having 2 like more billion-dollar Marvel hits in that time for 26. Because I mean, think about it. You had Endgame in the spring of 2019. You had Spider-Man 3 months after that. Both of those movies were in the $1 billion.
Yeah.
And then you have Brand New Day coming out 2 months after Doomsday. It's potential to be that same thing again.
Yeah.
And Secret Wars, that's going to be $3 billion movies back to back.
Yeah. Wait, isn't Armor Wars supposed to come out too?
No, that's done. There's
no fucking way.
Armor Wars was a product of the old plan, and that changed.
If Armor Wars is still coming out, then Naomi has no haters.
I could still see Rhodey getting a project at some point, though.
But I think it's going to be something without him being the lead, though. I think it's going to be him with somebody else, probably, not just him by himself. Right. Unfortunately, because I think any of those old era Marvel ideas for TV shows are gone. Yeah. And any of those old movies anything they had planned prior to Secret Wars that's not out already is scrapped, I think. I think it's pretty much gone.
Yeah. Agreed.
Iridium with a $5 super chat. Outside of outside of Marvel, the Russos are probably best known for producing Community. Yes. That's the thing is when they came in to do Winter Soldier, which I believe was the first movie they did, a lot of people were like, how are these guys going to do like an action superhero movie?
Yeah, because like they're just known for sitcoms.
Yeah. And I honestly, like the first time I saw Winter Soldier, I loved it, but I saw it a second time. And what really got me like fully locked in with that movie is the Bucky Cap Black Widow battle in the street.
Yeah.
That battle was like, give these guys another movie right now. That's how I felt about it when I saw it.
Yeah.
And expect them to be in the movie too, because
Cameron Ears with the $5 super chat says Eric Wallace is only good Flash seasons 6 and 8. Do we agree with that?
I don't know if I would call 8 good. I think 8 just looks better because it's sandwiched in between 7
I
and
actually
9.
couldn't remember if I remembered everything from those seasons, so I pulled it up here. So season 6 was the Blood and Truth graphic novel, which was the Blood Work one.
Yep.
And that builds up to Crisis on Infinite Earths. And the second graphic novel was the Reflection and Lies, which is the Mirror Mistress one, but that's the one that got cut short because of COVID.
Yeah.
well, it extended to season 7 for 3 episodes, though.
Yes, which I think were very uneven in terms of quality. But then season 8 is the Armageddon one, which I love Armageddon. One of my favorite things that Eric Wallace did, even though I think episode 4 was kind of wonky. I still loved Armageddon.
I love things in Armageddon.
Yeah, I don't love it itself, but
Yeah.
I like it.
The next graphic novel is the Death Revisited, which is the Deathstorm graphic novel.
Yeah.
I like Deathstorm, his what they did with his look, but I don't like.
He
the
looks
story.
awesome. Yeah, like
Yeah,
Johnny
and-
coming back was cool in theory, but like
A lot of people were speculating that was going to tease up Blackest Night. Nope.
We also had the graphic novel Negative Forces, which was the other one in season 8.
That was
Boo.
bad. That was bad.
It was so negative.
I actually like it.
That one just pissed me off because I mean they brought back Kavanaugh for literally no reason, had him in an ugly ass black costume, and
The neckline on that costume was a crime to humanity.
What's funny is
in season 8 from Matt Letcher was made even worse when he appeared in season 9. It's like, yeah, this is the definitive Thawne outside of season 1.
What's funny is I think they were intended to be the last season, so they had lines in it that felt like it was the end. Basically, Barry literally says, "No, this is the end," and then you have
It was for Thawne, yeah, like that was their proper final encounter, right? Because they didn't really fight. Well, I guess they did in like the flashback, but like in the final episode, they don't fight.
No, none.
Rich Chester.
That's the thing. They brought back all those, speedster villains. None of them interact with Barry.
But that was a COVID thing, unfortunately.
Right.
I know this was a COVID thing, but it kind of like really irked me a bit that Savitar is basically Barry, and no one like commented on the fact that he was Barry.
Well, I mean, like they were saying, Grant had COVID.
And also the fact that literally Barry stabs his own daughter in the back because it's a time limit.
Man, there were if that episode 10, I think you and I talked about this, Darren. If that episode 10 would have been the ending to the show, I think everybody would have been a lot happier.
Yeah, alter that episode a bit, make it like, I don't know, an extra 30 minutes. Yeah.
Or get rid of that really bad supporting cast montage in the beginning of it.
Yeah.
Man,
I can go down a rabbit hole with season 9. But
we've done that. Right now. We've done that so many times.
We've
done that so many times that it's already infected Barry's future grandchild.
Oh god, yeah. Oh my gosh, like that. 2023. I felt like every stream I did, I was mentioning it at some point. I'm like, I gotta stop. I gotta stop getting triggered over this season.
It was funny, like, despite how much those shows were pissing me off, I think the thing that was pissing me off the most wasn't even specific to one show, but it was everything they were doing with Don Pickle. It's like, can you guys just stop, please? You're gonna make me hate this character, and I don't want to hate him.
I was really close. Like, I started getting very frustrated.
Steigervore with the 199 super chat here says, "Oh, and more cartoons are being removed from Max." We went on Max earlier tonight. We were like I said, we were looking for a movie to watch, and as I'm scrolling through there, it's so sad. Like there's nothing on there except for like HBO TV shows.
Yep.
Which is fine if you're looking for something recent, but like all the good stuff is kind of gone. And it's weird because all that stuff, there were hubs on the app. I still feel like they're going to do away with the app altogether. Like they're going to dismantle the app altogether. That's what I think.
Yeah.
There's one to me, HBO Max's. Like they had like basically a lot of streaming services with HBO. I'm like, what's the point? Just have it on one app.
Well, that was the whole thing when they first got it, was that they wanted to have everything in one place for the fans. And then they did away with it.
They're
Yeah,
getting
then
these
they
bundle
did, like,
deals together
Max.
that they're making now, and it's like at this point, you guys are charging just as much as cable for these bundles.
Exactly. Yeah, I've had to get rid of some of the streaming apps because of that.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is one of the big topics, and we're already 2 hours and 15 minutes in the stream, but we've had fun tonight, so I'm not complaining. So I feel very vindicated because I was ganged up on when I talked about this. So Charlie Cox says he didn't like episode 5 of Daredevil Born Again. That was part of the original, meaning the show before it changed, which I think we all agreed that felt like something that was a leftover from the old one.
Was that the episode with Kamala Khan's dad?
Yes.
That was the bank episode, yeah.
It was just for my money. I wasn't into it. I didn't like it. It was my least favorite of the episodes, and I kind of pushed back against it as much as I felt was possible. But he goes on to say that a lot of fans love the episode, and it just goes to show that not everybody always feels the same way about the stuff that they're watching and they're enjoying, which I thought was a really nice way to sort of wrap this up. But the reason why I want to talk about this is this confirms to me that the stuff we thought was from the old era versus what we got in the new era without any edits or whatever, is the stuff without a lot of Kingpin in it, because Kingpin and Vanessa really got reworked almost completely for the show. So this one was one where they're like, we can leave this one as it is because it's just Matt in the bank in a contained story, and we don't have to do much with it.
The main reason why I like this because even though it's been said that it's connected to MCU, we haven't like visually seen it, and even so, like that small cameo with Kamala's dad, it felt like it was connected to the MCU.
Well, I mean that's what it was, because
that's why like that's the main reason why I like that.
But
episode.
I actually think my take on this is the Daredevil Born Again show prior to getting pretty much completely overhauled felt more connected to the MCU because it was going to be
100%.
like a reboot of the character, sort of.
Yeah.
So they pulled back on it, which even though the season isn't perfect, and I know we've talked about it in a lot of detail on our several videos, it was the right decision to go back in and redo the season and make it the way it is. Because we're going to get a really good season 2, I think.
And that was the ironic thing that I noticed is that like whenever you were getting reports of all these reshoots and like things that they were kind of going from the ground up again, people were really excited when the reshoots for like that were happening because like okay, we're going back to good stuff. But then when the Brave New World reshoots got announced, everyone flew into a panic.
Oh, that's always the way though, right? Isn't that the way it is always?
But, like, the difference there though is that like they had already hired Giancarlo after principal photography had started, and then like you can tell watching that movie that he is very much like duct taped into there and just placed.
Yeah, I mean, I think this kind of goes to show kind of what I was saying, where it's like the pre-Rehaul stuff wasn't necessarily a bad show. It was just a different show. It was a different kind of show. Yeah. Like I think if you put like if this was like a leapfrog series or something, like I feel like people would be really into it. I don't know.
That's a throwback, man.
Insert random character here. Like I think the issue for Charlie and Vincent was like, well, this just isn't the Daredevil that I know, and I think that episode definitely feels the most different. And like while watching it, I actually really, really loved the episode. I thought it was really good, but it's a little different. It is a different tone. It's a different style. And I can understand like someone, especially someone as much as Charlie, who is arguably more connected to the character than probably most people will ever be in their life, like easily, right? So he's probably like that, being like, this isn't sitting right with me, and I can understand that.
Is this the Daredevil you know, Darren?
Did you guys? I know this is like legitimately he wasn't there, but if you could have like mimicked his walking pattern, because it felt like when he was in the White Tiger uniform, he was having like a pep in his step. I'm like, that's not the guy that. It felt like it was a different person.
It was.
I know, literally it was, but at the same time, it's supposed to mimic the actor.
Well,
So-
it's gonna be perfect.
It felt like he was like a totally different person with a totally different walk.
So,
Eric's being a keyboard warrior over there.
yeah, well, someone sent me something. I didn't even see this, but I guess it's from earlier today, it looks like. Here, it seems like they're doing additional photography for Fantastic Four right now. And there's two different shots here. This is two of them, but there's two other photos that I saw. Says Ryan here from Ryan's Ramblings.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
You know him.
You know.
Yep.
yeah.
So,
So wait, hold on. Wait. I want to say this because I know there's behind the scenes stuff.
That's what I was
I already
laughing.
know. I already know the lore behind this. The photos are real, but what this person is saying might not be real, so we don't know for sure.
Yeah.
Because he's known to
you can say it.
lie about stuff, pretending that he's seen
Say that.
things he hasn't seen, stuff
Yep.
like that. So yeah,
I have the receipts.
yeah. But the photos are real, so we're gonna ignore whatever speculation there is. We do know it's additional filming that's happening. I know that much because I've seen two other posts about it.
I was about to ask if you could link me that, and then I saw who it came from. So
Yeah. Well, there's other photos we'll look at here. So we have here, so just this like dress or whatever. I think this is probably like more information on her before she becomes Silver Surfer. I think
That's
this is
Silver
probably
Surfer? Okay.
this is probably like supplementary shots. There's more here. We can see the
Yeah,
back
I
on
don't
the
think
front here.
it's like. I don't think she switches between silver and.
No, not at all. No. I think this is one of two things. I have some speculation here. This is probably when she's talking about what she did before she became Silver Surfer. We're probably going to get some sort of visual representation of her sacrificing herself
Yeah.
to save her planet, which is what Norrin Rad does in the comics. Or this happens at the end. It's like a shot at the end, like during the mid-credit or the end credits, that shows something about her that ties in Norrin Rad, that ties into the crossover into the multiverse, something like that. But these are not reshoots. I want people to be very clear here. It's additional photography, which is different. It's supplemental. It's like they want to add something into the movie that isn't there already.
yeah, it's not like they're getting rid of something and then putting this in its place.
Right.
It could also be like a mindscape scene for her as well, like something like in the inner mind of like kind of like the like before version of her talking to like the current Silver Surfer version of her kind of thing that we see a lot in
Which you
similarly
would
what we
not
saw
have-
in like the Thunderbolts, right?
Yeah.
Where we see a lot of the like inner dialogue of characters and stuff like that.
and you would not have to switch that around with stuff that's already in the movie.
No, it's just you would just put it in wherever it feels
Yeah.
necessary. You know what I mean?
Right. Sorry for
Anyway,
the out there.
we do have a teaser
Okay.
for Peacemaker, but someone says the full trailer comes out later today.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's yeah.
So should we wait and do that on Monday? Should we look at it on Monday? When it
I
comes
mean,
all
I
out?
think the trailer's innocent enough. Like it, yeah. Like I feel like you could probably still do it. But
Well, I mean, should we watch the teaser for the trailer now and then watch the trailer on Monday?
I
Or
feel like it didn't. What like I don't feel like watching this one wouldn't hurt.
okay, let me find it.
Um,
Unless you have it handy.
I don't have it handy, but
Okay, let me do it.
there's
here.
also a new poster too. I don't know.
Yeah,
if you
we'll
saw
look at
that.
both of those here. Oh crap! I'm so glad I wasn't sharing the screen. I typed in Peacemaker teaser, and the first thing I see is like somebody's. Never mind, we won't even talk about that.
I already know where you're going. Oh shit!
All right, so here is the poster,
I kind of love it.
which, by the way, this
Aw.
feels very much like the old show. I know it's supposed to be like a soft reboot, but it doesn't really feel that way to me.
It's not. James Gunn has said the only thing that's different is the Justice League cameo. Like that's the only change.
I wouldn't be surprised if they, like, whoever they end up getting as Aquaman and Flash in the future, I wouldn't be surprised if later they retroactively alter that scene.
That would be
to have
such
those
a
new
sick way to
actors
cast them. It's just so we have the same exact scene, and it's.
I would not be surprised if they did.
Did they remove that from the show? Is that out?
No,
now?
it's still there. You still see Jason Momoa and Ezra Miller.
That's why it's so weird. It's a season 2. That like this should have been like
born again type thing.
Yes, it should be like Peacemaker, New Blood. I don't know, something. Weird.
All the teaser is like a motion version of this poster. It's not. There's nothing.
Yeah,
really
it's not an official.
Right.
Yeah.
Is it just me, or does that not look like John Cena in that poster?
It's a little like airbrushed, like face-tuned.
Yeah, no, it doesn't look like him.
Yeah. There are some pictures though. Let me see if I can find them.
Yeah, I can actually see him, so it can't be him.
That's a good one.
Funny, Darren. I don't know. I wasn't too hot on season 1 of this show.
That's a 3-dub joke there.
I wasn't too hot on season 1 of this show, so I mean, I suppose I'll watch season 2, but I'm not like, campaigning and cheering for it. I've said more hot takes.
I still haven't seen season 1.
I love season 1, but I'm not really excited in this new universe. Like, as much as I loved it, I do think they probably should have kept it away.
I think this is the stuff. Max did like this big teaser where it showed like little shots from different shows. I think this is where this came from.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm kind of excited for it, but it's like I need to see more. Is basically where I'm at.
I mean, I acknowledge that it's like well made, it's well put together, it is competently structured. I just do not like Christopher Smith as a character, so that's part of why I just couldn't get into this show.
Remember we were supposed to be getting like a bunch of other shows, like the Ratcatcher show and all these different shows.
Yeah.
Hell, never happened.
I remember back when we were supposed to get a Nightwing movie. What?
Yeah. Well, we're still getting like a, what is it called? Gotham something. What is it? The animated movie.
Oh,
Dynamic Duo.
That's it.
Yeah, that's gonna be a really like bizarre animation style.
We also were supposed to get like a Justice League Dark, which would have been cool to see.
Yeah.
They were also going to bring Deadman. Like they tried to get Deadman as like the next DC spin-off show after Smallville, but then they picked Arrow instead. So
I really want to do a stream somewhere. I don't care where it is, but like, it'd be really fun to rank all of the canceled.
Oh, that would be so much fun. Year. We should do that as a bonus stream, either on your channel or my channel. I would love to do
fun.
That.
Yeah.
All right, so we are ending the poll. Let us see. I'm not going to read it. I'm just going to hit the end. I want to see what the chat has picked for us to do as part of the bonus stream. We had a lot of fun options on this one. So here we go. Ending the poll. Ending it.
Okay, Darren, I have to know what you're eating.
All right, so this is going to be fun, guys. Everybody can participate in this. Oh, Takis, the Blue Heat. We're going to build the Flash Season 10. So that's what we're going to do. Yeah. So basically what that means is everybody comes in with like their pitch. Like you're talking to DC, talking to Warner Brothers. You have to pitch your Season 10 storyline for the Flash. So that's what we're going to do.
Now, here's my question. Are we left with, like, do we all have, like, an episode count, or do we all do our own episode counts and our own pitches?
I would say you have... We'll go with 19 episodes.
Oh, wow.
That's generous.
It's a 19-episode season.
Oh,
So basically, the way this is going to work, it's a fantasy world. So the fantasy world is that Warner Brothers is like, we want to bring back Grant Gustin. We want to bring back all the whole team, and we want to put it on Max. We're going to give
Wallace?
you... No, not Eric Wallace. You're the showrunner. So basically, they're like, we're going to bring it back. You get 19 episodes. You are the showrunner, which means you don't have to give a lot of details, right? But you're the showrunner. You need to explain to us what you want to do with these 19 episodes, how you're going to handle the season, and pick up where these characters left off. Are you doing a time jump? Are you doing very next day? Who are you keeping? Who are you getting rid of? You're going to build the season. And then the chat will get to pick whose season they want to watch.
I'm guessing we can't retcon anything from earlier in the show, can we?
You can do whatever you want, but it has to be within the context of your season.
Okay.
So is like a done deal that we have to bring everyone back?
You can do whatever you want. It's your season.
Because I'm not bringing Allegra back.
But you have to explain in your summary. You have to explain why. And the way this has to be done is because we're not going to spend an hour on everybody's thing. You have to write a basic outline of what the season would be, and then you can give details. Think of it as like you want to pitch it to somebody, and you have 5 minutes to explain to them why. Not realistically, like I'm not going to cut everybody off at 5 minutes, but you have a very short amount of time to sort of pitch your idea, what characters you want to bring back, what stories you want to do, what villains you want to have, like which characters you're going to be using. Like you have to do all of that. And then the chat will have to, like you guys will get to pick. I will put a poll up and say, pick the one you like the best, and we will have a winner of the of pitching the best Flash season 10. So
yeah, I'm excited for that one.
So it'll be a lot of fun. I will give everybody like a week's head up before we do it. It'll probably be in the next couple weeks, but we'll do like a bonus stream and we'll just talk about like Flash stuff. So
is that probably going to be on like a Saturday or something?
It'll be on a weekend, yeah.
Okay.
Why are you not usually available on the weekends?
No, I am. I was just curious. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't like a weekday.
No, it wouldn't be a weekday. So, but I will ask everyone that is here, the four of us, gets to participate in this. So this is just the four of us because we were all here when this happened. Cool. I don't want to like have 5 other people show up and go, I got my Flash season 10 treatment. I'll be like, well, we don't have all day. We got four people, 4 slots for this. So,
and I do have my quiz ready for the Sunday stream.
That's going to be on the 5-hour stream, and I have to pin Pagey down. That is the hard part. Is I have to find a way to restrain Pagey so that he will be here for the duration of that quiz. I know that sounds sus, but I don't care.
Thank you. Okay.
I was going to say, don't tempt him with a good time.
Maybe you'll actually be here if it was a good time.
Oh my gosh. All right, so we're going to end it with this because we got a super chat that reminded me of it. Over here. Actually, we got 2 super chats. Let's do this one first because nobody knows about this but me. I'm going to be the only person that knows anything about this. New Jersey, though, with the $5 super chat. Thank you so much, New Jersey. Lurker here. Did you see the video from a film editor with no knowledge of the Rippaverse react to the Yaira trailer? His name is Ivan Ortega. So I have seen it, but it's like an hour long. So it would be a lot to commit to. I wanted to react to his reaction to the trailer. Hey bro, you like reacts? Let's react to your reaction. So that's kind of what I wanted to do. But I haven't had a chance. But I've seen bits and pieces of it. Have you guys seen the Yaira trailer? Do you even know what that is?
No.
Okay. Chat, does anybody here know anything about Yaira? Because I would be willing to watch. It's a very short trailer. I'd be willing to watch it. It's a pitch for a comic book. And it's really, really, really bad. Okay? But it was filmed in Canada where they film like Flash and all these other shows or whatever. But it's so bad. I think it would be funny to watch. So if the chat wants us to do it, we'll do it. But I haven't seen it yet, New Jersey. Thank you for the $5 super chat. I am going to check it out, though. But if you guys want to watch the Yaira trailer, I'm willing to put it on because it is a live-action trailer advertising a really bad comic book. South Texas Sharky with a $2 super chat. Did you see the GTA 6 trailer and what did you think? I haven't seen it yet. I've seen pictures from it. But I'm willing to watch it. However, just know it's probably got music in it because it's GTA. It's going to get copyright claim. So the trailer will probably not be in this video. So just so you know ahead of time. So let's watch that. And then before we go, we will all sit and watch the Yaira trailer from last year so you guys can see this awful trailer for this awful comic book that I'm always making fun of that you guys probably don't know a lot about. So anyway, let's...
Just be warned, it is a little... not safe to work, just a little bit.
Oh, is it really?
The GTA, yeah. There's a lot of butts and...
Oh, is it gonna like get the video?
No, I don't think so. I'm just...
Okay.
We're just putting it out there.
We've seen things that would get streams taken down.
We have... I was just putting it out there. Maybe any kids out that are watching.
Well, it's after 1. It's almost 2 o'clock in the morning. I think.
It should be sleeping.
If you're up this late, get to bed. Jesus. Okay, there you go.
You have school tomorrow.
What you doing
is this
up
live
there?
action?
I'm just fixing some leaks.
Seriously, dude, you got some time on your hands. I got some properties with paying
Wait, hold
tenants.
on.
Well, that's
Is this the right trailer?
Yeah, it is.
It looks like a live action movie. Hold on.
It's just a really, really good effects.
Wait, hold on. Seriously?
Yeah, this is it.
What you doing up there?
I'm just fixing some leaks.
Hold on
Seriously,
for a
dude, you got
second. Like, this guy's walking and you can see the sand bouncing under his feet.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. My mind is blown at the moment. I've seen a couple pictures of it, but I thought they were all like promotional still shots. I didn't realize this is is this gameplay? Or is it like, I don't know. Is this gameplay or is this just a cinematic
I think
trailer?
this is cinematic stuff, but
Okay.
I didn't play the games. I can't say.
What you doing up there?
I'm just fixing some leaks.
Seriously, dude, you got some time on your hands. I got some properties with paying tenants.
I have never
That's why you
seen
came
mouths
by.
move like this on a
Just
video
go get
game.
me my checks.
See you, Brian. Love you, Jason.
Okay, I saw the game in that part. Like, that looked like the game. The cash register part. This is crazy.
Yeah, it looks fantastic.
Say that again, Darren.
You can see the water in the bottles, or the beer in the bottles, whatever that was.
I'm here for Lucia Caminos. She's supposed to be getting out.
What's your name?
Jason Duval.
Okay, so right here, I could tell this is the game because look at how the shirt kind of
Yeah.
hovers above the arm. It doesn't really lay flat.
Yeah,
I
this
mean,
is an
look.
interesting premise for the game.
I'm actually nitpicking quite a bit, but I'm kind of blown away by how good this
Yeah.
looks, to be quite honest.
I want to see gameplay though. That's my main thing.
Yeah.
I think you heard before.
You might have.
Freedom Reign, is that what the shirt said?
Hey.
Okay, so I know we don't have, like, not everybody's a gamer, but right here, where's it at? This dress is extremely difficult to make in a video game.
Yeah, because there's so many like pixels on it.
Like, sequins are extremely difficult to do. The fact that they make it look so good
Yeah, it
is
looks fantastic.
really impressive.
And what you got?
Gonna do this? We're doing it right.
This is the PS5 footage?
Yeah.
Yo, D, this
Yeah.
full effect. They got your name, address, they got everything.
Us cops, we gotta protect each other.
You and me, bro. You got this.
We got it.
Oh my god.
Vice City.
Well, that's the club right there.
We got more guns than a law allows.
They reference the best game in the series.
True.
Hey, if you got friends, can you hook me up, please?
Wow. I am blown away.
We're gonna see if 13 years is worth the wait.
God, that looked amazing. Look, I play a lot of new games and I've seen a lot of really good graphics, but I genuinely thought it was live action in the first like 30 seconds of that.
Yeah, no, it looks incredible.
Yeah, I don't. So I'll say this right now. I don't
See
care
the-
what this ends up being. It's still gonna be better than GTA 4. Anybody
See
who
the
played
jingle.
that game knows what a train wreck it was.
Trevor wore a dress in GTA 5. Don't let them fool you about GTA 6 being anti-woke. Yeah. All right, so it's very short, but let's do this here. I want to pull this up. We're going to watch. This is going to be fun because you guys have no frame of reference for Yaira. So...
While you're pulling it up, I bought 5 when I first got my PS4, and like I just fundamentally didn't understand how it worked. I played it for a year not knowing there's a story. I just thought you went around town just killing people, and I was like, "This is the game. I like. It's pretty fun, but it gets boring quickly." And then my friend's like, "There's a whole story." I was like, "Oh, I don't know."
Darren's like, "Wait, games have story?"
All right,
I still haven't played it. I don't know.
Here we go. We're gonna watch this. You guys literally chat. This is the great thing. They have these guys with me have no point of reference for anything about this. So this is like, imagine you scroll on this trailer, and this is trying to get you to buy a comic book. Okay. So this is a pitch for a comic book and possibly a TV show if people liked it enough. That was the pitch for this.
Okay.
So tell me, and we're just going to let it run through, and I want you guys to tell me, and I'll pause it if you want me to, what your thoughts and opinions are on any of this. Here we go.
All right. Reverse.
Let me pause the music so you guys can get the full.
Oh. Oh, it's like Constantine?
I was going to say, we get the Blood Moon?
This is gonna be tough. I've trained my body to do things that people like me shouldn't be able to do. But unfortunately for me, flying ain't one of them.
Don't follow me!
Biologist and archaeologist who we feel is going to be an undeniable asset here at Projexus. Won't you please join me in welcoming her to our team? Dr. Sally Rodell.
Adopt or die.
Secure the area till Alpha can arrive.
Signore! Save us! It is the truest law of the earth. Verily few things have the ability to survive the test of time.
Okay, so fun story. I did have to pause it here. The actress playing Yaira, which is the one talking or whatever with the blue eyes, she basically hid all of her social media after this trailer came out because of all the backlash from it, which sucks. I never condone going after anybody, but she was so ashamed by this trailer that she basically just disappeared from social media. So, here we go.
Though we may not be around to see them to their fullest fruition, what we struggle to create now will be the triumphant echoes from the past.
Alpha will be here in 5 minutes! Hold the line!
5 minutes? Thanks for the heads up. I was here. I lived. I am still here among you.
That's bad breath.
Sweet dreams, children.
Oh.
It is that struggle that is the affliction of creation. I would like to thank Mr. Eusebio for allowing me the opportunity to discover and create alongside my esteemed colleagues at Projexus. Thank you.
An archaeologist? It's a bit archaic, isn't it?
She's well studied, Jerry. But if you want to question her credentials, be my guest.
That's not what I was saying. It's just an unusual area of expertise to pair with biology.
Well, Dr. Rodell, from my
archaeology and biology, it's not unusual to get. There's actually an entire group of study that is archaeology and biology together. He's like, it's an unusual thing.
That doesn't make sense of how they're shooting that, and we can hear what they're saying, but we can't hear the one closest to us.
Okay, here we go.
Perspective, it doesn't make a sense.
Understanding is an unusual woman.
Oh, that wig is terrible.
Don't be frightened, Jerry.
I can tell that's
She's
a wig.
on our side. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
photo?
God, this is so bad. Like, what is happening? Look at this. So there's nothing. There's no sound. There's nothing. It's like, what is going on?
Yeah, they should cut.
You took that like a chump.
Were you trying to knock me out?
No, it was meant to be a death blow.
Yaira, stand down.
Can we get that Powerpuff Girls season, please?
Anyway. Yeah, that's what we're talking about, like how badly that was done. And to keep in mind that the Rippaverse is one of those channels where they think they're better than Hollywood and better than Marvel and DC and stuff.
Gotcha.
So that was their pitch. The backstory on that is that was their first live action thing where they were trying to get people to buy that comic book and they were trying to pitch it as a possible show. It was filmed in Vancouver with Vancouver actors. So
they made Madam Web look like a masterpiece.
And I applaud, like people's attempt to, put their stuff out there these days. As somebody with a film degree, I get how hard it is to get your sort of work out there these days, to get your foot in any sort of door, leave a sort of mark. As someone who went into that field, I get it, but
you'll be excited to know that wasn't their first thing. The Saska sisters that made that have made several movies prior to that particular pilot.
I'm always very I never hating on these fan projects and stuff like that.
Well, that wasn't even a fan project. That was a funded project. So
yeah, fan funded.
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
I was gonna say if it's fan funded, then
no. That's so the Rippaverse was created a few years ago, to prove that this guy could make stuff at the level of Marvel and DC because he's been criticizing them for a long time. Yeah. So he made a cartoon. Would you guys like to see the animation they do?
Hold
on, I can show you.
I've me and my friend had this conversation a couple weeks ago, and we were talking about why there's so many bad fan made superhero projects, and not necessarily badly made, but why do so many of the shitty people of the internet end up doing this? And I kind of came to the realization is they want to give their own spin on these Marvel and DC characters because they no longer can see themselves in the heroes that they want to see themselves in. They stand for exactly what they are not. So they're but that person sucks. Let me give you what they're really like. And it's just nothing what Spider-Man's like, nothing like Superman's like, nothing like Batman's
and that's the thing too. I think I brought this up. I think this was last week when I brought this up to you and a few others, Darren. It's whenever you have people that are wanting to become writers for those sort of IPs, people, and I again heard this from the people who made the series that I'm wearing right here. They want to see what you can do with existing IPs already and what you can add to those. 9.5 times out of 10, they don't want to see your original stuff first. But once you can prove yourself with stuff that already exists, then they'll look at it and say, okay, what else do you have? Kind of like Ryan Coogler, he made a name for himself with the Black Panther films, and then his he didn't do Creed, did he?
He did. Creed 1.
Oh yeah, he did. Okay, but yeah,
Creed's incredible. I love Creed.
Yeah, after those, franchises that he put installments in, then they're like, okay, what else do you have? What's up here in your brain? And then we get Sinners.
Right. Yeah. So this is the other comic book they have, which is Alpha Core. This is their animated trailer pitch for more animation from them. So let's go.
Floorspar can be an unpredictable city. But fluency doesn't mitigate its problems. In some
this is
ways,
three frames a second, basically.
It amplifies them. This is why we're deployed.
There's Jaira in animation.
I don't remember watching this Invincible episode.
It does kind of feel like that, actually.
But we've seen better days.
wonder who this character's supposed to be like.
Omni-Man, Superman.
Then why are we just now debriefing?
This mission is not complete.
I only know of her. Our lack of data collection is a problem.
Valdez, I'm aware of your investigative talents. Braxwell spoke
What?
highly of you.
It looks like
That's
it.
why you're on
Yeah.
this team.
God, it's just like
See,
Local
what's
law
with that
enforcement
motion?
handled itself very well. But there are those with abilities. Some believe themselves to be good. Others don't even attempt to act as if they are. Either way, we're involved.
The fuck happened to Hellboy?
Not everyone will agree with our status. But that can be said for anything.
was that wood table like bolted into the ground or something?
It looked like it.
May I remind you both, we're Alpha Core, and failure is not what we do.
Failure is not what we
not
do.
the option.
Failure is not what we do.
Darren and I both know somebody that would say that that animation still looks better than Invincible.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah.
Even Flo says that we're not going to watch another one. The Horseman trailer's at best yet, but it's still there. We're not watching another one. We're done.
That was painful.
I mean, like, I like the animation, like, style in theory. Like, it looks very comic booky.
The animated trailer was better than the live action trailer.
I mean, like, that stuff looks fine when it's standing still, but in motion. Ugh.
When like she's like walking and it's like takes like 7 seconds.
Or when you get like that kick to the head and then it has that really bad wiggle effect. It's
yeah.
Like,
all right, we got a couple super chats and we're gonna get out of here. We've been live for almost 3 hours. Holy shit. Okay. Where are we at here? Oh, Cameron, right here. $5 super chat. Eric, there's an article about the Hawk Twa girls after the whole crypto controversy.
We're still on this topic.
I don't know.
I thought
she's
this
getting a
died
movie.
out.
Yeah.
They're doing a movie on her.
Are you
I do know
fucking
that.
kidding me?
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, no.
They keep telling me I say it wrong. Hawk Twa is what I think it's like. Twa. Hawk Twa.
Hawk Twa.
Nope. Hawk Twa, I think.
Is it? So
I don't know.
Can you imagine, like, being someone when somebody asks you, like, what is your internet thing? Like, what are you known for? You're like, I am the Hawk Twa girl, where I spit on that thing, and that's what your whole internet life is.
I've gone through like an interesting thing with her because like by no means am I like hell yeah I love this meme or whatever, but also like for a minute there I was like, you know what, I can respect anyone that's on the grind and that's making the best out of any situation, how stupid it may be, right?
True,
so like
true.
her finding success in that at first I was like, you know what, hell yeah.
But then she scammed people. It's like,
and then
wait,
she
hold
scammed
on.
people,
Yeah.
and she's like super like conservative, and that she has her dating.
Is she?
app,
I don't know that.
Oh yeah, she's like she works with like Logan Paul and,
Oh,
and
I
stuff
know
like that.
that.
Yeah,
Oh, so
yeah,
she clearly doesn't have the best taste and admires.
yeah, she's in like
Wait,
that sector.
And
of the
Logan Paul,
internet
didn't he just come out and say that I would go back to Japan even after all that shit he did in Japan? He's like, I would go back. Like,
that guy.
Bro, come on.
He and his brother are both fucking insufferable.
I don't know which one of them is more insufferable.
Well, I don't know. Like, you really got to see it in the fucking Mike Tyson match because obviously, you know, we saw how Jake Paul acted, but then this is what really got to me. They switched to, you know, Mike to say, hey, like, what are you going to do after this? And you can clearly tell Mike Tyson's joking. He goes, oh, you know, I might come after the brother next. And Logan Paul gets in his fucking feelings about it. He gets all butthurt. He goes, I'll fucking kill you, Mike. It's like, you were just as bad as your brother. You were both just insufferable.
All right. With that being said, let me go ahead and write in the Pitch Flash Season 10 thing. Matter of fact, I don't have to write that in. I'm not going to forget that. That's what I'm going to work on tonight.
Fun.
Anyway, I want to thank everybody for being here tonight. We had 3Dub in the house, jumped in early. Thank you for hanging out, 3Dub, even though we've been here for 3 hours. It's been a lot of fun. Jake over here jumped in, Joypad Jake. Go check out his YouTube channel as well, because I know you guys are already following 3Dub, but if you're not following Jake, head over and do that. And we have Darren, who flew in at some, I don't remember what time you got here, but you flew in at some point after we had been live, but good to have you here as well. Yeah, so I will be doing a bonus stream. I was going to do one this weekend, but I think I'm going to do it next weekend instead, only because this weekend is Mother's Day, and I know a lot of people are going to be doing stuff on Sunday, so I don't want to, like, Serenity says cool shirt.
That is a good shirt. I got multiple X-Men shirts. This surprises nobody.
Of course you do.
But yeah, it's Mother's Day, so if you've got a mom out there, whether your biological mother, adopted mother, mother by just chance or whatever it is,
mother-in-law,
yeah, whatever it is, grandmother, definitely go show them some love this weekend. So, but yeah, so.
Did you just hear him?
I was trying to like move on, but I can't. Like it all sort of hit me at once. I think it's too late. I think that's what it is. We're all so tired. But anyway, thank you guys so much. We hit the goal tonight. I do appreciate it. We went beyond the goal. You guys are amazing. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and we will see everyone later. So have a good night, everybody. Let me try and not awkwardly end the stream, but it's always awkward.